airports around the U.S., including Hartsfield-Jackson, although transportation correspondent Chris Van Cleve says the industry is on the right track.
The FAA says staffing levels and sick calls at FAA air traffic control facilities across the country have stabilized and are closer to what would be normal pre-shutdown.
And federal workers have headed back to work today around Metro Atlanta, including at the Atlanta-based CDC. Kennesaw State Professor Kerwin Swint says the money is on the way too.
Those employees will get paid. They will get back pay. And so that's going to work wonders as far as reopening the government.
And the more than 1 million SNAP food recipients in Georgia, as well as millions more around the country, are also set to get their full benefits, although a timeline for that has not yet been announced. It is currently 52 degrees in Midtown Atlanta. WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards says the warm-up continues today after a cold start this morning. The high will get up near 70 degrees. We could top 70 tomorrow. Atlanta's most accurate and dependable forecast is coming up. Watching Capitol Hill today, now that the House has enough signatures to force a vote on releasing all remaining files about late sex trafficker Jeffrey Epstein. Speaker Mike Johnson says that vote will come next week. Comes after more documents are released, including emails in which Epstein said President Trump knew about his illegal empire. Correspondent Weijia Jiang says the White House is pushing back on the effort to release more of those documents.
The Department of Justice, of course, led by Attorney General Pam Bondi, says that they have already released everything that they legally can. And Democrats in Congress are demanding that the Justice Department release even more.
A handful of Republicans have also joined the Democrats' efforts there, including Georgia Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene. Data centers appear to be top of mind in DeKalb County as commissioners hold another town hall on a proposed ordinance.
As at least 3 companies scout DeKalb County for data center locations, county planners are hard at work. DeKalb County senior planner Tricia Prevost says they've been hashing out rules and regulations on everything from architecture to noise and lighting to water consumption and stormwater management, even parking.
Our goal with this is to create layers of accountability. We really want to be proactive in this ordinance rather than reactive.
They'll submit the draft ordinance to the Board of Commissioners November 20th. Without an extension, the county's moratorium on data centers expires December 16th. Veronica Waters, 95.5 WSB.
The impact of social media and artificial intelligence appears to be top of mind for state lawmakers as a panel hears testimony on how the technology affects students around Georgia. Dr. Abraham Flanagan with Georgia Southern gives a breakdown of the numbers.
An hour a day of lost instruction over the course of an entire school year adds up to about 180 hours of lost instruction, which comes out to almost 30 days of lost instruction because students are misusing their devices.
And of course, he says that lost time can lead to learning loss and possible issues with online bullying. Some school systems have banned devices from classrooms during school hours already. The committee is expected to release a report next month on potential policy changes for social media and AI in schools. And happening today, possibly at your favorite Starbucks, the coffee may not be flowing.
Thousands of unionized baristas threaten to strike at 550 locations in 25 cities in a demand for better pay, schedules, and benefits.
Now, Deborah Rodriguez reports Starbucks calls the request unreasonable. The protest comes on one of the company's busiest days of the year. That's Free Red Cup Day for holiday-themed drinks. Several Starbucks around Metro Atlanta are staffed with unionized workers. It's 9:03. Mark Arum Show begins in less than 2 minutes. But first, live team coverage of traffic and weather. We start in the WSB 24-hour traffic center and smile on Mark McKay.
All right, John, west side perimeter loaded up on the inner loop 285 northbound, leaving Highway 166 exit 5 up to where right lane's knocked out with a stalled out big rig on 285 north just before exit 9. That's MLK Junior Drive. Delays still into downtown on the connector northbound, leaving Langford Parkway and southbound I-85 400 rolling south toward Georgia Tech and Atlantic Station. Kind of aggravating this morning into Ackworth, Ashley Fresca.
Trying to get down from Red Top Mountain Road along 75 southbound, a stalled truck now blocking a couple of right lanes past Allatoona Road just before the Lake Allatoona Bridge there south of exit 283. Really heavy traffic there as only one lane is open. And the waves of volume coming down from Canton Road Highway 5 for the ride through Marietta. Triple team traffic, 95.5 WSB.
I'm WSB meteorologist Christina Upward. Sunny skies today, warming up to a high of 68. Clear and cool tonight, lows in the mid-40s. Tomorrow, sunshine, high 71, continuing to climb into the mid-70s by Saturday.
49 degrees right now in Villa Rica, 49 in Buford. It is 52 degrees in Midtown Atlanta at 9:05. More news at 9:30. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Judd Hickenbotham, 95.5 WSB.
I apologize in advance if I'm like out of sync today, Deborah. All day yesterday, I thought it was Thursday.
Really?
All day, yeah, because I was supposed to be off Friday. So,
Oh, that's right. You were thinking
so I
it
said,
was a short week.
And then Maya's like, "What are you talking? It's today's Wednesday," and I was like, "Oh my!" So in my head, I'm in Friday mode, which means I'm going to let it fly mode. So I'm going to be a little out of sorts today, but fear not, we'll get through the next 3 hours. A lot of information to get to. Coming up in the broadcast, we're going to talk to CNN's chief medical analyst, Sanjay Gupta. He's got a new book out. He's coming to the book festival here in Atlanta on Sunday. Very excited. We've never, Deborah, never ever have had Dr. Gupta on the broadcast before.
It took a minute, but I got him.
Yeah, well, I won't get into it, but I've been trying to get Dr. Gupta on for a long time, and he will appear on the show today. The big headline, obviously, is the end of the government shutdown. We're going to get at that in just a minute. But what is the impact now that the government has reopened? I just checked FlightAware, a website that I've been abusing for the last 7 days or so. Really not bad at Hartsfield-Jackson. Only 21 delays thus far, 85 cancellations. We're going to go live to Hartsfield-Jackson in 30 minutes and just get a lay of the land there as hopefully travel gets back to normal. Obviously, we're going to go in-depth on the Epstein emails. We're going to be joined by Emily Brooks from News Nation in just a couple of minutes on that, because yesterday when we were on the air talking about this, Deborah, it kind of broke right as we were coming on the air. The House Democrats releasing these Epstein emails. There was only like a handful of them. It turns out there's over 20,000 pages of Epstein emails to and from Jeffrey Epstein that were released. So there's a lot to unpack there. We'll do that. But again, the big story is the end of the government shutdown. Let's go to D.C. Nicole Killian from CBS. Most Democrats opposed the legislation because it didn't address rising health care costs.
His pen, President Trump ended the longest government shutdown in U.S. history.
I hope we can all agree that the government should never be shut down again.
The bill is passed. The law took effect immediately after the House narrowly approved the funding package, with 6 Democrats crossing party lines to join Republicans.
What do you think of the Democrats who supported the package tonight?
They did the right thing.
The measure extends government funding through January 30th.
Yeah, that's the important date, January 30th. So we've got a reprieve through the holidays, through Thanksgiving and Christmas and New Year's, but might we see another government shutdown on January 30th? I don't want to give any federal workers PTSD, but that could actually come down and be a thing. So the 43-day federal government shutdown is over. The House vote, it approved 222 to 209. Again, that legislation is going to fund the government till the end of January. President Trump blamed extremists in the Democratic Party for the country's longest ever shutdown, urged voters to, quote, not forget this during the midterm elections. Now, they say that goldfish have the shortest memories of any living creature. I think voters might have a shorter memory, because what happens now, the midterms are like not that far away, but especially with the pace of what's going on in the world today, the midterms in November of 2026, like there's a million things that could happen. So yes, I understand President Trump saying, hey, don't forget this in the midterms, but there's just going to be a snowball of other things that people are going to be top of mind. But that's the good news. And if you are a federal worker, you should start seeing, I would imagine even today, you're going to get some of that pay up to 70% immediately. But really good news for the folks that, first of all, have been working and not getting paychecks. And all the folks that get fired, the federal workers that get fired during the shutdown, that was part of the agreement with the House, the Senate Democrats and the Senate Republicans, that anyone that was fired during the shutdown by the Trump administration will get their jobs back. So good news for anyone that was in limbo during this shutdown. Again, we'll get reaction from both the left, right, and center on the end of the shutdown. And might we see another one coming up at the end of January? Gosh, I hope not, Deborah. For Vinny's sake.
Don't will it into existence.
For Vinny's sake. We get to reset the callers on prizes back to like 7 today. Vinny's been struggling through that. Vinny's been getting paid through the shutdown, but he's been struggling, having to screen 40 callers to win a turkey. So, yeah, obviously we're going to update that. Real quick, good economic story here in Metro Atlanta. A French company is setting up shop in Gwinnett County. Deborah, what can you tell us?
French electrical equipment manufacturer Socomec, I think. I don't know if that's pronounced
Sure.
in French, but Socomec is what it looks like. They're going to invest over $10 million in a new manufacturing and distribution facility right here in Suwanee, and that is going to create over 300 jobs.
Wow.
Yeah, so they do power, switching, monitoring, conversion, energy storage. Everything's electric now, so this is a big deal for Suwanee. And it's a building that already exists, so they don't have to break
Ready to
ground.
go.
Right,
Boom.
and they're going to start hiring in early of next year, which is really just a couple months away.
All right. Love hearing good economic news here in Metro Atlanta. All right. As I mentioned, the Jeffrey Epstein email story broke as we were coming on the air yesterday. At first glance, we just saw a handful of emails that the House Democrats had subpoenaed from the Epstein estate. 24 hours later, and we're looking at like 20,000 pages. Let's kick off our team coverage of the Epstein emails. Joining us from News Nation, Emily Brooks. Emily, good morning. Thanks for your time.
Thank you.
I hope you weren't tasked with going through the 20,000 pages of Epstein emails last night.
You know, I have not gotten through all 20,000 pages. Congress did open the government last night, voted to do that, so it was a bit of a balance with that. But Epstein Fuhrer has certainly taken over in Congress with the release of these pages and another upcoming vote now to release the rest of the Epstein files from the Department of Justice. There's just a lot of overlapping investigations and action going on.
Yeah, so there's two separate Epstein stories, you're right, this morning, Emily. One, the Epstein estate emails that were released publicly yesterday, and now that there's 218 votes, signatures on the House floor to release the Epstein files. I will let you, it's a choose your own adventure here, Emily. Do you want to start with the emails or what's going to happen in Congress with the Epstein files?
Well, they are related. So let's talk about a little bit of the history here. As you might recall, over the summer, there were a lot of Republicans who were frustrated with the Department of Justice, initially saying that they weren't going to release any more information about the Jeffrey Epstein matter. And that set off a lot of criticism. Because of that, one Republican, Thomas Massey, and one Democrat, Ro Khanna, in Congress, started this procedural mechanism called a discharge petition to try and force a vote circumventing Republican leadership to force a vote on a bill directing the Department of Justice to release the Epstein files. As soon as that got 218 signatures, which accounts for a majority of the House, which means that some Republicans have to sign on, then that can be brought for a vote, essentially. And 4 Republicans did sign on to that. In addition to Massey, Representatives Marjorie Taylor Greene of Georgia, Nancy Mace of South Carolina, and Lauren Boebert of Colorado. And last member, newly sworn-in Democrat, Gravalha of Arizona, signed that and was the last signature on that. But while that was happening, while they were getting those signatures, in the House Oversight Committee, there were Democrats seeing that this was an issue dividing Republicans, moving to force subpoenas of other Epstein-related information. And some Republicans, even in the Oversight Committee, joined that effort too. They have interviewed former federal officials in that investigation, and then that's where we see all of these emails and other files that are being released, because this includes a lot of information from the Epstein estate that was subpoenaed. So all of this is ramping up sort of at the same time.
All right. Emily Brooks from News Nation joining us live on the Mark Aram Show. All right, discharge petition. They get to 218 votes. Let's assume it passes the House floor, a vote there, which isn't guaranteed. Does President Trump just have the right to veto this and end all discussion about the Epstein files, even if it passes Congress?
Well, that's the question here. So he cannot squash the House Oversight investigation. There have already been subpoenas sent out for that. But, you know, this bill, it does have to pass the House. It looks like it will pass the House. Then the Senate has to decide if it's going to bring it up. And there's not a similar mechanism in the Senate And it's not clear what Republican leadership in the Senate is going to do, particularly since the president does not want this bill to move forward. And then if it did pass the Senate, then yes, he could veto it, and then it would take 2/3 of each chamber of Congress to override that veto. So it's a pretty tall order to try and see if this bill actually becomes law. So the oversight investigation, I think that is where the big question is. How aggressive are the Republicans leading that committee and in the House going to be in trying to get and release as much information as possible? Certainly with that big document dump yesterday and other document releases over the past couple of months, they're certainly trying to make it seem like that they are trying to get as much information out as they can.
Interesting. Emily, you brought up the name Lauren Boebert. I saw reporting yesterday that she was called to the White House and they had a meeting with her, the only representative from the House in this meeting, in the Situation Room, which is usually reserved for, really important things. President Trump was in there, the FBI director, the Attorney General. Do we have any indication that they were trying to sway Congresswoman Boebert from signing or withdrawing her name from that discharge position?
She did not specifically say that, but that is the implication, that they were trying to get her to take her name off of. And this is an effort that the White House has been undertaking for months since Lauren Boebert and those other Republicans first signed that discharge petition back in September. So it had not worked, but this was getting to the 11th hour yesterday when that Democrat was going to be sworn in and become the last signature on that petition and freezing it. And then it wouldn't, the members would not be able to take their names off of them. So she stood in the face of that. And I think that's pretty notable because Boebert has, cast her political identity as a staunch ally of the president. Yeah. But this is the one issue that seems to be where even his allies seem to split with him.
Yeah, both she and Marjorie Taylor Greene. All right, interesting times. Emily Brooks, News Nation. Emily, thanks so much for your time this morning.
Thank you.
Yeah, obviously, I know some people are like, why? Who cares? Stop clutching your pearls. If Biden, Obama, or Clinton's name were in these Epstein emails, we'd be talking about them too. It's the most notorious sex trafficker, pedophile in our lifetimes. And if there were any folks in that would have been, if Bill Clinton, who I still don't think is out of the woods yet, if his name was in these Epstein emails, we would be talking about them as well. We did hear from Speaker Johnson yesterday about that discharge position and the Epstein victims.
We have been for maximum transparency of the Epstein files from the very beginning. What I was opposed to is the reckless disregard that was used in drafting the discharge petition.
More from the speaker throughout the day. Peter Haralambous from ABC. We're going to go in depth with him on all, again, 20,000 emails, pages of emails were released yesterday after we only had a handful of them yesterday morning. So we'll break that down further with Peter Haralambous from ABC. All right, 9:18 on the Mark Arum Show. And when we come back, we're going to hit our top local stories. Right now, though, got to check it's not Friday, Arum. The Thursday morning drive. Let's say hello and good morning to Mike Shields.
Hey, good morning, Mark. We can call it Friday Eve if that sounds better for you. And things improving on the west side perimeter as you leave the airport trying to get up to I-20, the West Freeway. Had a crash involving a tractor trailer in a right lane. They've managed to get that over to the right shoulder within the last 10 minutes. 285 northbound, the inner loop right at MLK Jr. Drive, exit 9. Still sluggish. 4 miles back starting at Highway 166. Also just had a crash clear into cab. 285 eastbound, the outer loop at Flat Shoals, exit 48. And slow as you leave Cartersville through Emerson with a stalled vehicle reported in 2 right lanes at times. 75 southbound just past Old Allatoona Road. This report is brought to you by Stone Mountain Park. Stone Mountain Park Christmas is here. Experience the magical flight to the North Pole, the world's largest Christmas drone and light show, and so much more. Get tickets or book your stay at stonemountainpark.com. I'm Mike Shields, 95.5 WSB.
Congress votes to end the shutdown.
The yeas are 222, the nays are 209. The bill is passed.
What does this mean for your health care and the cost of living?
3 words, Marjorie Taylor Greene. She's been very clear. This health care crisis is not made up, it's real.
Check back often
Delta
for the latest.
CEO Ed Bastian expects a quick recovery for the Atlanta-based airline
as Washington gets back to work.
95.5 WSB.
Atlanta's breaking news station.
If you're hearing scratching, scampering, scurrying noises in your attic, you, my friends, have squirrels. It's Mark Aram here. Getting squirrels out of your home is challenging, and you certainly need an experienced pro to do the job right. Better get Breda to kick them out before those squirrely scoundrels start running an Airbnb in your attic for all the critters in your neighborhood. And those squirrels are not leaving without a fight. Trust me, they'll chew their way back in over and over again. You need the Breda Wildlife Guarantee to cover every entry point, old and new. The other guys only guarantee the entry point they seal, so each time that squirrel chews a new hole, it'll cost you hundreds of dollars more. The squirrels, trust me, will keep coming back, and so will Breda. Under the Breda Wildlife Guarantee, you stay protected and at no additional cost. Breda Pest Management, they handle bugs and critters like squirrels. BREDAPest.com.
Breda, no need to be afraid of bugs.
Welcome to Window Wisdom with North Georgia Replacement Windows. Today we're talking with window and door experts Ted Kirk and Jonathan Cullum, owners of North Georgia Replacement Windows. Ted, can you explain how the Infinity fiberglass windows can give us more daylight and bigger views in our home?
Because our Infinity Ultrex fiberglass is so strong, the frames of our windows are thinner, which gives you more daylight and bigger views. Our windows are not big and bulky like other replacement windows.
What if someone wants a window where there isn't one already?
Fortunately, we're licensed general contractors, and we can help with that. Our windows come in both a new construction and replacement option, so we're always guaranteed to have the perfect fit for your home.
How do the Infinity fiberglass windows measure up when it comes to energy efficiency?
Infinity windows have super energy efficient glass that will lower your energy bills and protect your floors, window treatments, and home furnishings from fading out from the damaging sun's UV rays.
Jonathan, anything else you'd like to add?
Just remember, if you're replacing your old windows that are leaking or rotting, choose Infinity from Marvin fiberglass windows, or you're giving up both daylight and views. And not only are our fiberglass windows more durable, they are truly beautiful windows.
Jonathan and Ted, thank you so much for sharing your knowledge, experience, and expertise. And right now at North Georgia Replacement Windows, we are proud to offer savings to be thankful for. You'll receive 17% off your entire project, plus up to 18 months, no interest, no payments. Hurry, these offers end November 30th, 2025. Visit our beautiful showroom in Alpharetta to see all the possibilities for your home, and visit us online for all the details on these special savings and financing offers. ngwindows.com. Visit us today at ngwindows.com. ngwindows.com.
Infinity from Marvin, replacement windows, yeah!
I've found your next go-to service team for Porsche, Mercedes-Benz, BMW, Audi. It's Wolf Pen European Auto Repair in Roswell. Honest pricing with certified factory techs who won't run up the tab with repairs you don't need. See the difference when you search Wolf Pen Auto Repair.
It's the Medicare Advantage annual enrollment period, and Humana knows not everyone has the same needs when picking a Medicare Advantage plan.
Now that I'm retired, I want to enjoy the life I've worked hard to build. So I want a plan that covers me when I'm traveling the country.
Humana has a plan for that.
As a veteran, I want a plan that fills in the gaps my VA coverage doesn't provide, like dental care.
Humana has a plan for that.
I feel good about my health. I just want care and coverage with predictable costs. No surprises.
Humana has a plan for that. With a Humana Medicare Advantage plan, you get coverage and benefits that focus on what matters most to you. Learn more at gethumana.com. Humana, a more human way to healthcare. Humana is a Medicare Advantage HMO and PPO organization with a Medicare contract. Enrollment in any Humana plan depends on contract renewal.
My holiday lights are up, the ladder's in the garage, and I'm safe inside. Wise Guys Lights handles everything, install, maintenance, and takedown, and first-time customers save $150 when they mention me, Chris Chandler. Don't wait, book now at wiseguyslights.com.
9:24 on the Mark Aram Show. Welcome back, friends. Still to come. Joining us live will be author Greg Cope White. I just finished the Netflix series based on his book called Boots. It turned out to be a really good series, Deborah. The first episode was shocking, but then it it got better, less
it's
stressful.
on my suggested.
Yeah.
I just haven't watched it
It's
yet.
all about Marine boot camp in the early 90s. Anyway, I'm excited to talk to him. Dr. Sanjay Gupta is going to join us on the show as well. The big news today, the end of the government shutdown. The government is reopened, my friend. So good news for everybody there. We'll continue our team coverage. We're going to go to the airport and check out what's going on at Hartsfield-Jackson in just a bit. A lot of folks have suggested to me, instead of flying, take the train or the bus, which was, there's options out there. We're lucky, we're blessed in America to have travel options. If you can't drive, you can take a train, a bus, plane, whatever. You sent me a bus story, and it reminded me of a Seinfeld episode, and I'm going to tell you which episode, but this was a bus theft story, Deborah.
Yeah, so this was actually in Hamilton, Ontario. So this happened in Canada.
Okay.
And a guy saw a bus. It was pulled over. It was idling. So he hops on and decides to just take it.
Steal the bus.
Steal the bus. 10 passengers on board and everything. So not only did he continue to drive the actual bus route,
Yeah.
he must have been familiar with it, but he stopped too. Stopped at every stop,
Every
let people
stop.
on, let people off. And someone even tried to get on that had an expired bus pass, and he said no, closed the door on him. And then a couple miles later, he pulled over and gave himself up.
So he steals, I'm assuming it's big, Greyhound kind of bus.
I imagine it's their city
In my
bus.
mind,
Yeah.
it's, so he's like, oh, there's the bus is on, there's no driver. I'm going to steal the bus and do it. We got
It was like Speed.
I'm sorry. Isabella Rosales from CNN joining us live now from Hartsfield-Jackson. Isabel, are you prepped? You ready to go, my friend? I'm sorry.
I'm here. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, absolutely. I hadn't scheduled that. We only have a minute. Is there any chance we can hold you through the news and get back to you at 9:35?
100%. I'm here for you.
Oh, awesome. All right. Isabel, or tease us. Give us a tease, Isabel. You know how to tease in TV. What's coming up at 9:35?
Oh, my goodness. Well, we're at the world's busiest airport, and the government shutdown may be over, but the airlines are not back to normal when it comes to cancellations. And everybody wants to know about the holidays. What should we expect? I'm going to tell you.
That's an Emmy Award-winning tease. Isabel Rosales at Hartsfield-Jackson. We'll get to her after news, weather, and traffic, just to see what the travel is like. But back to the bus story. It reminds me of the Seinfeld episode where Kramer fought off some guy that was trying to steal the bus, and he kept making the stops. And Jerry's like, you kept making the stops? I love that the thief was like, oh, you want to get off here? Okay, I'll drop you off at the mall or whatever. Anyway, nice bus story. All right, you heard the tease there. We're going to go live to Hartsfield-Jackson when we come back. Shut down over. Our flight delays and cancellations over. Isabel Rosales, she had a much better tease than I did. She's joining us live at the world's busiest next. Social media is up, active throughout the broadcast at Mark Airman, at WSB Radio.
Hey Atlanta, it's Patrick, owner of Zero Res. We want to thank you this Thanksgiving with our biggest fall sale ever. It's been a long year and your home has seen it all, so give it the refresh it deserves before the holidays. At Zero Res, we don't just clean carpets, we remove dirt and grime from the spaces where you and your loved ones spend time, safely and effectively. Our ZR water cleaning process is non-toxic and safe for people, pets, and the planet. And unlike traditional cleaners, we don't use soaps and harsh chemicals, so your carpets dry in hours, not days, and stay cleaner longer. Now here's our Thanksgiving thank you. When you schedule 3 rooms of carpet cleaning at just $45 a room, you can add a hallway for only $1 more. Just mention WSB when you book. That's 3 rooms at $45 and a hallway for just $1. Schedule today at ZeroResAtlanta.com. Zero Res, spell it backwards or forwards, it's the right way to clean.
When your heater takes a holiday during the holidays, don't panic. Castile Heating and Cooling's here. When you're juggling shopping lists, dinner parties, and who's picking up who at the airport, the last thing you want to hear is, "Why is the heat not coming on?" No sweat. Call Castile for our no emergency fee service and unbeatable savings. And right now, get up to $5,000 off a next-day HVAC system install plus flexible financing. Book CastileAir.com today.
Hey friends, have you filed an insurance claim for a roof replacement only to be denied? Are you not sure what to do? You're not alone. Dr. Roof here to help. Hey, it's Mark Aram. Dr. Roof specializes in reviewing the storm damage and getting your roof replaced. They've been around for over 37 years, and can help you with all of your options. Don't settle for a denied or partial insurance claim. Get the roof you deserve with Dr. Roof. Online at drroof.com.
Live from the Superior Plumbing Studios.
News,
weather,
traffic.
95.5 WSB.
Atlanta's News and Talk.
It's 9:30. I'm Judd Hickenbotham. News this half hour brought to you by Dr. Roof. Our top story, now the federal workers are heading back to work around the country today, including here in Atlanta. The government shutdown comes to an end. We are starting to see the economic damage that's already been done.
After more than 6 weeks, the Congressional Budget Office estimating the shutdown cost the nation $11 billion. Hundreds of thousands of federal workers are being asked to return to work. They'll soon get back pay.
But correspondent Rachel Scott says federal contractors are out of luck. Airports are expected to see lingering delays this week as well, despite air traffic controllers all heading back to work as well. Now, reporter Jay O'Brien notes one part of the temporary budget bill, while it only runs through January, SNAP benefits are paid through next September.
If there is a government shutdown come January, or even the looming possibility, those SNAP benefits for those 42 million Americans who rely on SNAP to put food on the table for their families will not be at risk.
Up next on Capitol Hill, negotiations on health care tax credits, which Democrats have demanded from the start. It is 53 degrees in Midtown Atlanta. WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards says today should be nice. Sunny skies, high in the upper 60s. We should top 70 tomorrow. Atlanta's most accurate and dependable forecast is coming up. Metro Atlanta appears to be improving for those looking for quality nursing homes.
Last year, 8 facilities in the metro area got a best rating. This year, we have 13.
Best nursing homes as a group provide on average 20% more total staffing per resident than nursing homes, than sort of the national average.
U.S. News and World Report's managing editor-in-chief of health analysis, Ben Harder, says they look at everything from staff turnover, the availability of physical therapists, to the level of training of nurses on staff. He says the rankings are meant to be a tool for finding quality nursing homes near you. Sabrina Cupid, 95.5 WSB.
Well, federal appeals court temporarily pauses an order from the White House that would dissolve a joint venture between Atlanta-based Delta Airlines and Aeromexico.
The pause is in place while a review of the order is pending. The Delta Aeromexico partnership allows them to coordinate on pricing, marketing, and loyalty programs. But the U.S. Transportation Department has said the arrangement gives them an unfair advantage.
Bloomberg's Gina Cervetti says the government has called for the partnership to be dissolved by New Year's Day. And if REI is one of your targets for this Black Friday, you'll need to buy your outdoor and camping gear online. As part of the company's Opt Outside movement, they are giving their 14,000 employees Thanksgiving and Black Friday off.
The physical stores will be closed, and employees are encouraged to just enjoy outdoor activities.
Yeah, Monica Nelson reports all 195 brick and mortar locations will be closed, including right here in Atlanta, but online deals will be available. It's 9:33 as we check your money. Well, the government shutdown might be over, but Wall Street is not responding well to that this morning. As the bell rings this morning, all major indices are well down, especially the NASDAQ, down more than 160 points right now. Now, live team coverage of traffic and weather. We start in the WSB 24-hour traffic center and Mike Shields.
And Judd, left lane roadwork set up for you on the west side perimeter as you cross over the river, approaching Hollowell Parkway, exit 12. Delays already start back to Atlanta Road, exit 16. And those delays will continue to grow as you try to work your way down the I-20 to the West Freeway. Speaking of delays, we got them out of Cartersville through Emerson on 75 South and south of Old Alatoona Road, exit 283, where DOT says it stalls in 2 right lanes, bumper to bumper though, all the way back to Highway 113. Use Highway 41 as an alternate through Cartersville and Emerson, getting into Ackworth. I'm Mike Shields, 95.5 WSB.
This is WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards. Sunny skies and warmer today. Highs in the upper 60s to low 70s. Lows tonight in the mid 40s. Tomorrow, sunshine, high 71. Mostly sunny on Saturday with highs in the mid 70s.
49 degrees right now in Woodstock, 54 degrees in Palmetto, 55 degrees in Midtown Atlanta at 9:34. More news at 10. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Judd Hickenbotham, 95.5 WSB.
Where you going is a given. How you're getting there?
Well, that's the question.
We will start to see some delays if they shut that ramp down on 285 East.
Before you hit the navigation
You're
app.
going to be slowing right around Hudson Bridge Road.
Listen to the people you can trust.
And really slow out of Ackworth into Emerson.
Updated traffic as often as you need it every time you listen.
We had a lot going on this morning through Henry County.
More experience, more reliable, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, triple team traffic.
95.5 WSB. How Atlanta gets there.
For the past 43 days, Democrats in Congress shut down the government of the United
United States and an attempt to extort American taxpayers.
Government reopened. That, of course, President Trump. Are things back to normal as far as air travel is concerned? We go live to Hartsfield-Jackson in 2 minutes on the Mark Arum Show.
I'm here with Chris Hoffman, the founder of Hoffman Financial Group and host of Money Unleashed right here on 95.5 WSB. Well, Chris, as you know, time just keeps on ticking. We're putting another year under our belt, so it seems like a really good time to take stock of our financial lives and put together that plan that's built to last.
There are occasions throughout the year where I feel like it's critical for people to engage their financial lives and get the information that they deserve from a financial advisory team. And this is one of those times, to be quite frank. So we ask that you call us if you have a minimum of $500,000 in your full portfolio. But we're going to do away with that minimum so that those folks can have an equal opportunity to understand what's in their portfolio as well. Now, you have to have some money, right? I can't help you to build your wealth at work, right? But I sure can help, I believe, with your 401k, IRA management. There's probably 2 or 3 things that'll surprise you that you may want to take action on. So the next 10 people that call in will work up either a portfolio x-ray, or if you feel like you need a full retirement plan, go to unleashyourmoney.com, click on portfolio x-ray, or click on full retirement plan. We think you'll be impressed enough, and we want you to become a client. There's no question about it. We believe that we are a very competent fiduciary advisory team, and we want to offer that to our listeners. Let Hoffman Financial Group actually show you how we perform, and I believe we perform at the pinnacle of this industry.
Call the Hoffman Financial Group at 404-737-3858, 404-737-3858, or online at unleashyourmoney.com. Investment advisory services offered through Brookstone Wealth Advisors, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through Hoffman Financial Group Incorporated, Georgia Insurance License number 163546.
9:36 on the Mark Arum Show. Still to come, we'll go back to D.C. live, get the latest on the end of the government shutdown. Sanjay Gupta is going to join us in the 11 o'clock hour. He has a new book out. But right now, as promised, heading to Atlanta's Hartsfield-Jackson, the world's busiest airport. The government's reopened, but is air travel back to normal? Joining us live from the airport, CNN's Isabel Rosales. Isabel, thank you for calling back. I appreciate that. Give the folks here in Atlanta, if they are traveling today or this weekend, what's going on at Hartsfield-Jackson.
Hey, Mark, good morning. Yeah, I've been speaking to travelers all morning, and this will be nice to hear for your listeners that are headed to the world's busiest airport. The travelers that I've spoken to were pleasantly surprised by how empty the airport is. I mean, I'm looking at the main security checkpoint right now, and it's like major gaps. So not a Disney line by any means. It is wide open. People are breezing through security. I'm looking at the Delta monitors right now when it comes to like flights and cancellations, and it's a sea of white, meaning the flights are on, no, barely any delays or cancellations. And as I'm looking at FlightAware, it's about 3% of flights for Hartsfield-Jackson International Airport that have been canceled. So unless you're like really unlucky, chances are it is smooth sailing, or rather flying.
Yeah, a significant drop in the delays and cancellations, which is fantastic news. Now, Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy had incrementally increased the number of flights going in and out of the biggest airports in the country. Now that the government is reopened, are those restrictions gone from Sean Duffy?
They are not gone. They are still in place. It's gonna be up to the Department of Transportation to kind of undo that and say that those cuts are no longer active. But here's the deal with this. Last night, the Department of Transportation froze the flight cut. So it should have been at 8% today, and then tomorrow jumping to 10% of the flight scheduled cut. So all the airlines responsible for cutting that amount in their flights, well, they froze it to 6%. So that is the active number of flight schedule reductions that are in play today. So the Department of Transportation has said that they've seen more air traffic controllers showing up to work, and that's why they feel comfortable at freezing it at 6%, but we're not out of the woods yet. And since the government shutdown began, there were actually 650 air traffic controller staffing shortages that were reported. Saturday, we really saw a record. That was really worrisome. a record of 81 that called out. Yesterday was only 4. So you see that improvement there. You can see why Duffy has made that decision. But again, not out of the woods.
Isabel, we've got the big Thanksgiving travel week coming up in a couple of weeks. Do we expect things to normalize before Thanksgiving, or is it still kind of going to be in flux?
Yeah, that's a big question, right? And as I was speaking with travelers, they were really worried that this was just going to pile on and lead to like a domino effect leading up to this busy holiday travel season. So when we look at overall flight cancellations, the trend it's going down. On Sunday, there were nearly 3,000 flight cancellations. Today, we're at a third of that. But it takes time, even after a government shutdown is over, for airlines to bounce back. So we've been speaking to travel insiders, to airlines, and they're saying it could take a week or more for the airlines to recover. We heard Sean Duffy say that flights could normalize by Thanksgiving. So how do you take this if you're a traveler? Be optimistic. Probably it's going to be okay, right? We're seeing all of these insiders saying that it should recover by that time. But don't come unprepared. Have notifications on your airline's app. Enable push notifications so you can see if anything's been delayed or canceled. Arrive early for your flights. Book the first flight out of the day if you can. Flights after 9 a.m. are more than twice as likely to be delayed. And then if a flight disruption does happen, stay polite, talk to the airline's chat, and call them at the same time, and just, be patient with it.
Isabel, now that the government's reopened, obviously we've been hyper-focused on the federal workers at Hartsfield-Jackson International that have not been getting paid, the TSA folks and the air traffic controllers who missed not one but 2 paychecks. Do we know, as soon as the government reopened, did they get their pay immediately hit direct deposit, or is that still an ongoing process?
Right. So Sean Duffy talked about this, and he said that they're moving very quickly to get them their back pay. So in short, no, they don't have that money yet. But when it comes to the back pay, within 24 to 48 hours after this government shutdown having ended, they should see, I believe the number was 70%. So the majority of their back pay repaid back to them. But obviously, it's so difficult, and it's understandable that so many of these air traffic controllers and other federal agents have called out sick. They have bills to pay, right? It's not easy to work for free. But the good news that we got there from the Department of Transportation is they should be seeing that money getting back into their accounts very quickly. Now, the union's telling us that a lot of these people have taken like side gigs, secondary jobs, and they might not return right away until they see that money start coming into their accounts.
All right, Isabel Rosales live at the world's busiest airport. Isabel, thank you so much for your time. And for travelers out there, enjoy. No wait through TSA security. It's a rarity for folks down there. I appreciate it, Isabel. Thank you so much. Isabel Rosales from CNN live at Hartsfield. I'm not going to question our judgment on canceling.
It's a little bit too close to the wire, I think. If it would have been open Tuesday, maybe you guys could have still done
I wasn't worried about flying to New York. I mean, there's a flight every hour from Atlanta to New York. It was, the trepidation of the return flight. But it's good news. Bad news for my buddy who works at one of the major carriers who's been loving life because there's been so few people down there. I wonder what the economic impact is for, like, the restaurateurs at the airport, like the Popeyes. Man, you can go to the airport at 1 a.m. and there's like 40 people in line for the Popeyes at the airport. That has got to be the most popular restaurant in the airport because Popeyes isn't everywhere in the country. So if you're coming in from Provo, Utah, I doubt there's I might be wrong. I'm sorry for the Utahians out there, but I'm assuming there's no Popeyes in Utah. And when they land, they got a layover. They're like, Popeyes. I've heard all about, Have you noticed that, Longoria? Just there's always a line at Popeyes.
Yeah, I mean, I never really thought about it, but there is.
Not the greatest food to eat before you get on a flight.
No.
Especially you get the spicy chicken, for me anyway. After I land, I'll grab Popeyes.
Where you're at, yeah.
Yeah, and take it home. But all right, so good news for air travelers, and hopefully things will normalize before we get to the Thanksgiving holiday. I did see an update. Yesterday I mentioned Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent said that there's going to be a reduction in coffee prices and banana prices. They've shot up. Coffee prices are up 20% year over year, which to me is a lot because I drink a lot of coffee. Bananas, not so much. I like bananas, but I don't go out of my way. But apparently, the Treasury Secretary is saying basically we're going to relieve tariffs on coffees and bananas because they're not things that can be produced in the U.S. The only coffee producing state in the U.S., I think, is Hawaii with Kona coffee. And I didn't know, but I guess bananas are not grown in the United States.
Again, if they would be somewhere in Hawaii.
Yeah, but so if you're a banana and or coffee lover, the good news is it looks like those are going to be tariff free. Coming up a little bit later, some of our Christmas decorations, though, are going to be more expensive this year because of the tariffs. But while we're talking about coffee, Deborah, I am a super user of coffee. This is cup number 3 already, and this is a big cup. This isn't like a little teacup. This is a big cup of coffee. Me drinking coffee could help my heart. Is that what the studies are saying?
A little bit. So there was a study that tracked patients that already had irregular heartbeats. I don't know what your heartbeat is like, if you've had any irregularities with it, but they've been tracking these patients that have irregular heartbeats. And those who drank at least 1 cup of coffee a day actually had less occurrences of those irregularities than those who didn't drink coffee.
Bosco had an irregular heartbeat. Should I have given her coffee? No, she didn't. She did not. All right. I think I drink too much coffee. I think it's like anything in moderation. I don't think. I know I drink too much coffee. But it keeps me hydrated.
3 cups a day?
Oh, 4. I'll have one more before the end of the, But then I crash hard. I take a nap, and then I wake up again. I've got a weird system. It's not the healthiest lifestyle I live here. All right, when we come back, the latest on the government reopening. We'll update our top local stories. But at 9:46 on the Mark Arum Show, we got to head back to Atlanta's only 24-hour traffic center and Mike Shields.
And Mark, brand new stalled out tractor trailer in a right lane, at times 2 right lanes as they try to figure out how to get this over to the right shoulder in Doraville. 285 westbound, the outer loop right at Peachtree Boulevard, exit 31. Delays back 2 miles on I-85 and starting to have a negative impact on 85 southbound, ramping onto 285 westbound. Talking about negative delays, that's what we have out of Cartersville through Emerson with a long-standing stall that's been in 2 right lanes, the DOT tells us. 75 southbound past Old Alatoona Road, exit 283. Use Highway 41 as an alternate. This report is brought to you by Anthem Blue Cross and Blue Shield. Learn more about their support of common threads in nutrition education at anthem.com/stream. Anthem Blue Cross and Blue Shield is a trade name of Blue Cross Blue Shield Healthcare Plan of Georgia Incorporated. I'm Mike Shields, 95.5 WSB.
The news of the day through the eyes of Eric Von Hessler.
This might help, young man. This might cure what ails you.
If it's on your mind, it's on his.
I run a stupid little radio show. I don't care. Have fun.
Eric Von Hessler, today at 3.
Your friend, Eric Von Hessler, the Common Sense host.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
2 homes, same block, one sold for way more because they used Orchard. Move first, skip the stress, and sell for top dollar. Don't wait. Get your free home valuation now at Orchard.com. That's Orchard.com.
Normally, they put a roof over your head, but this is the time of year that Findlay Roofing also puts presents under trees. Merry Christmas! It's Dave Baker, host of the Home Fix-It Show. My friends at Findlay Roofing, the Roof guys, are proud to support Clark's Christmas Kids again this year. Findlay will donate $100 from every roof replacement between now and December 14th. Finley has committed to donate at least $15,000 to Clark's Christmas Kids. Santa would be proud, and Rufus is proud too. And if it's time to replace your roof, please think of Findlay first. With over 65,000 roofs replaced locally, they've mastered the process with impeccable, high-quality work. 'Tis the season to give yourself the gift of a new roof while helping give a Merry Christmas to local foster children. Get started right now. Schedule your free roof analysis at FindlayRoofing.com.
Hey guys, are you striking out in the bedroom? Because pills like Viagra, Cialis, and Levitra just don't work anymore. Here's how Choice Men's Health is solving PE and ED issues. Meet Dr. Katz, the expert in men's health.
Hi, I'm Dr. Katz, Chief Medical Director at Choice Men's Health. Choice Men's Health offers safe, custom-blended medications designed to fit your needs. There is no pain or surgery. It doesn't matter how old you are or if you have diabetes, high blood pressure, or prostate issues. Not a problem. It's safe and affordable for everyone. You'll see results in 15 minutes guaranteed, or you don't pay anything. Solve the problem of ED and PE now.
For a limited time, your initial consultation and first treatment are free. Call now, 404-400-1170. That's 400-1170 to claim your initial consultation and first treatment for free. Call Choice Men's Health now. 404-400-1170.
Imagine, friends, all that can happen in 5 years. Jobs may change, kids will grow, new memes will come out, but also, what if you had reliable, intelligent Wi-Fi and the price didn't change for 5 years? Thanks to the Xfinity 5-year price guarantee, you actually don't have to worry about that part of your future. Hey, it's Mark Aram. You're guaranteed 5 years of Wi-Fi that boosts speeds to your devices that need them the most, that finds and fixes any issues before you even notice them. It's like super intelligent Wi-Fi that keeps you protected from threats online. Plus, you get incredible gaming speeds on multiple devices with no one battling for that bandwidth. For the next 5 years, all of your devices will be working in perfect harmony, and you get their best equipment, no annual contracts, no fees, no strings. So even though kids will grow up and you will still won't understand 6-7, your internet's going to stay sharp, reliable, and most importantly, the price will stay put. Lock in your price and unlock the possibilities. Xfinity, imagine that. Restrictions apply. Select plans only.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. Ever wonder why Big Wireless wants you on an unlimited plan? They probably want you to cover the cost of those 20-somethings using all that data every month. But most people 50 and up like me only use 12 gigs or less. Don't get bamboozled by Big Wireless. Switch to Consumer Cellular. Our plans start at just $20, and we use the same towers as the big guys. Join the millions who choose something better, because if you're not using all that data, you're probably getting used.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com/facts. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
The cost of mesothelioma treatments can exceed $400,000, and families often face losing their homes and life savings just to pay the bill. The Rights and Claims Department of Flint Cooper has helped victims secure financial support they need to pay for their care and ensure their family's future. If you've been diagnosed with mesothelioma and don't have legal representation, call Flint Cooper now at 800-606-8169. Time is running out for you to file a claim, so don't wait. Call 800-606-8169 for a free consultation.
You're listening live to Longoria heating up his frozen burrito in the break room. 28 years ago today, The Lion King opened on Broadway. What came first, the movie or Broadway?
Disney movie.
The movie.
Oh, yeah. It's so good.
I'm embarrassed to say I watched Lion King for the first time just like 4 years ago.
Did you love it?
I enjoyed it immensely. Yes, I did.
It's one of the best ones they have.
It lived up to the hype for sure. So the movie inspired
the Disney
Broadway
cartoon
show
first, and then everything else came after.
Yeah. Scar.
Scar was the bad lion.
The bad lion. Yeah. It was good. I didn't see the live action one. Was that any good? Didn't they do a live action?
I did see that one.
That's
I like the cartoon.
Yeah,
one.
the cartoon's better.
Okay, good. Well, I'm no longer embarrassed to say I've never seen it.
Hakuna Matata.
Hakuna Matata. Ronald Acuna Matata.
Wonderful day.
This is a very big football weekend here on your home of the Dogs. Perhaps the biggest game of the year. Georgia hosts Texas in Athens. I believe kickoff is at 7:30. Georgia's ranked 5th. Texas is ranked 10th. And I just got some breaking news regarding this. Kevin from The Office, Brian Baumgartner, a UGA grad, just posted on Instagram for the first time in many years, Athens, I will be in you this weekend. Where do I go? What's for dinner? Need to know the spots. Can't wait to see y'all again. Can you imagine tailgating and Kevin
That'd
walks
be awesome.
by? Yeah.
Right? Yeah. I bet he would stop at like every single tent too.
He's so nice. But the Office character Kevin's known for his chili. So if he's going to start tailgating, he needs to bring chili. And Brian has embraced it. Like, he's got a chili cookbook out and everything. So that's pretty cool. Oh, I'm in town this weekend now. Maybe I'll go to get those Bill Crane tickets. Those good Bill Crane tickets.
Wasn't Vinny looking for someone to go to a game?
Yeah, he's going. Not this weekend, but that's pretty cool. Brian Baumgartner is going to be in Athens for the big Georgia-Texas game. Hook 'em horns? No. Go Dogs here on your home of the Dogs. Again, we're going to update the reopening of the government after the record-breaking 43-day shutdown. We've got new information on that the email dump of Epstein coming up after the news at 10. But again, Thanksgiving's my favorite meal, so I'm going to keep talking about Thanksgiving. Let's talk about food. Whole Foods. Whole Foods, I think, has this people have a preconceived notion about Whole Foods. I can't afford Whole Foods. And it's expensive. The Whole Foods hot bar is not cheap. They're known for pricier groceries. Clark Howard, for example, probably not
It's a little more higher end. Yeah.
But Whole Foods is doing this thing. I guess you can save a lot of money. They're calling it Foods Too Good to Go. It's like a food bundle.
Well, so Whole Foods is going to partner up with this app called Too Good to Go. And what it is when food gets close to the expiration date, which I know freaks you out, right?
Heard.
But say it's still 1 or 2 days, a lot of people are going to pass it over on the shelf. So what they're doing is they're taking all of that, they're putting it like in a big bundle. So it might be a bunch of fruit, or it could be different pastas or anything. And then you can buy that at a discounted price. So instead of like the can that expires in 2 days, instead of it being $2, it might be just $1 or something. But they're going to put it all in a bundle. So, if you're making dinner tonight, it's going to be significantly cheaper to buy that bundle than it would be to buy all the individual things.
So for food insecure folks out there, there's an app called Too Good to Go?
The app is called Too Good to Go, and then Whole Foods is partnering up with them for these surprise bags is what they're calling them, because it's going to be different every day depending on what's getting close to the expiration date.
We might have to do that here on the Mark Arum Show because
send Vinny to Whole Foods.
My food budget is blowing up because I keep getting breakfast.
Those special chicken shredded peppercorn sandwiches.
Yeah, so I keep buying breakfast for everyone here, except Deborah opts out. And even though we do the BOGOs, like Longoria and I got BOGO Whoppers yesterday, but my food budget is going. So maybe we'll look into these Too Good to Go breakfast alternatives.
I'll bring you my Burger King coupons again.
That's right. I missed those. Thank you, Deborah. One more food story. This is again heading up to Thanksgiving dinner, my favorite meal of the year. I don't know the answer to this. The question is, what is the riskiest food on the Thanksgiving Day table? And I'm gonna say it's stuffing. If you use sausage or oyster stuffing, some people do. Not fully cooking those, I think, could lead to like bacteria issues. So my guess is the riskiest Thanksgiving food is the stuffing. Am I right or wrong, Deborah?
You're not too far off, but the actual riskiest food is the turkey. And that's because people don't cook turkey regularly, and they might not thaw it out properly. They don't always cook it to the right temperature, even if they're following a lot of the instructions. Unless you really know how to cook a turkey, it seems like more people cook it wrong. And then the next part would be stuffing. They're always saying, do not put the stuffing inside the turkey, because if it is undercooked, it's not going to cook full. So go with the stovetop that you love so much, and that's going to be your better option.
Interesting. Oh, I can't wait. Now, the problem is I get so excited for Thanksgiving dinner, I start going to restaurants that serve turkey and stuffing. So I'll go to OK Cafe or Roasters or Piccadilly or Colonnade.
We just had Golden Corral.
We just did Golden Corral. I'm so amped up. I'm like prepping myself for Thanksgiving dinner. Very exciting. All right, Sabrina's got your news, weather, and traffic. When we come back, going to New York City, ABC's Peter Haralambous with the latest on the Epstein email case. I lied. It's Gramsicle. Graham Carroll's got your news, weather, and traffic in 2 on 95.5 WSB.
WSB Atlanta, WSB BFM, and HD1 Doraville. 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's news and talk.
If you need a furnace, think of Reliable with unbeatable lifetime warranty and only $59.99 a month. It's getting cold out there. Don't be a turkey this Thanksgiving. Hey, it's Mark Arum here. Reliable Heating Air wants to keep you warm and feed you too with Free Turkey Tuesday. Every Tuesday leading up to Thanksgiving, listen to my show for your chance to win a free Thanksgiving turkey courtesy of Reliable Heating and Air, the name Atlanta trusts when it's time to turn on the heat. Stay cozy, save energy, and keep your oven and your furnace cooking this holiday season. Visit ReliableAir.com to schedule your furnace check today.
Men, trouble in the bedroom? Not anymore. Priority Men's Medical Center restores your love life in just one visit. Their painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE. Here's a specialist in men's health.
I'm Dr. Simovitz. Have Viagra or Cialis let you down? Priority Men's Medical Center offers the most effective treatments that eliminate ED and PE, with men lasting longer than ever. 98% of patients see instant results on their first visit.
Priority Men's Medical Center's breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, regardless of age or medical history. Your consultation and first treatment are free. You'll see instant results in the office. Plus, qualified patients get their testosterone checked free. Call 404-885-8885. 404-885-8885. to restore your love life in just one visit. Call now, 404-885-8885.
I'm Channel 2's Lori Wilson.
I'm Fred Blankenship. Channel 2 Extra News this morning is the best place to be for breaking news.
So much is happening, and we're on it. Our reporters are the first to know in your community, bringing you fresh information, the best video.
We know you depend on us. It's why we're everywhere, live, to prepare you for the day ahead.
In the morning, see what's new.
Don't miss a day. Join us. Channel 2 Extra News this morning, 4:30 to 7.
News, weather,
traffic. 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
Good morning at 10 o'clock. I'm Graham Carroll. This news brought to you by TE Certified Electrical Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Our top local story, federal workers are back on the job this morning, and that includes hundreds of workers at the Atlanta-based CDC. The record 43-day government shutdown ending after a late-night vote in the House and a signing by President Trump. Airport operations are still throttled back, though, the FAA maintaining its mandate on flight reductions while air traffic control staffing ramps back up.
Once the FAA gives the okay, airline sources tell me it'll take 24 to 48 hours to ramp back up to full service, and that's in large part because they are canceling flights a day or two in advance to give flyers certainty.
Chris Van Cleve reports that the hope is to have everything back to pre-shutdown levels by the weekend, and that's going to be welcome news for those looking ahead to the Thanksgiving upcoming holiday travel season. Sunny skies today with highs in the upper 60s. More great weather on tap for the weekend. WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards has Atlanta's most accurate and dependable forecast coming up. In a specially called meeting, the Gwinnett County School Board gets an update on their search for a superintendent.
11 months after voting to fire Superintendent Dr. Calvin Watts, board members receive an update from Alma Advisory Group, the firm hired to help them find the district's next leader. Alma CEO Monica Rosen says they held several meetings throughout the district to find out what the public wanted, and now
that our next steps are to build and approve the job posting, for Alma to begin actively recruiting candidates for the role, and for the board to interview and select its candidate,
which hopefully will be in April. Rosen says the community wants a leader who can unify the state's largest school district. Michelle Wright, 95.5 WSB.
Lawmakers in Washington continuing their push for a full release of the Department of Justice files on Jeffrey Epstein. Those documents are in addition to the email information released Wednesday.
The emails are part of approximately 23,000 pages of records handed over by Epstein's estate to the Republican-led House Oversight Committee under subpoena. Trump has frequently denied any wrongdoing, and he's dismissed calls to release more information.
Scott McFarland reporting that one email from Epstein states the president once spent hours at Epstein's house with one of his alleged victims. Hundreds of people are evacuated, dozens more hospitalized after an ammonia gas leak in Oklahoma. A tanker truck spewed an anhydrous ammonia gas in a hotel parking lot in Weatherford, about an hour outside of Oklahoma City. This hotel guest was terrified.
We couldn't breathe. Like I thought I'm dying. I thought I'm going to quit running and just collapse on the floor.
A shelter-in-place order has now been lifted. Several nursing homes were evacuated and area schools were closed as a precaution. Penny production has officially ended in the United States, but that does not mean your old pennies are now going to be worth more.
Any pennies made after 1982 are mostly zinc, so they're only worth face value, according to Hunter Rhodes, who owns Atlanta Gold and Coin Buyers. Those made before 82 are mostly copper.
And worth about 3 cents melt value at the moment. So while you you won't retire on it, it's definitely worth more than the face value.
He says you can hang on to them for your kids or grandkids, and maybe they'll be worth more someday, but don't expect the value to skyrocket.
Because they make millions of them every year.
Rhodes says the nickel might be next to go, but he thinks that will take years. Jennifer Perry, 95.5 WSB.
2 automakers are joining forces to create more competition in the electric vehicle market.
Volkswagen and Rivian Automotive's joint venture RV Tech has made progress on delivering an EV electrical and software platform for Volkswagen to compete with Tesla and other Chinese rivals. And RV Tech plans to start testing the system in winter conditions on Audi, VW, and Scout models early next year.
Bloomberg's Monica Ricks says Volkswagen has invested close to $6 billion on this venture. It is 10:03 and the Mark Arum Show continues in less than 2 minutes. But first, it's time for live team coverage of traffic and weather. Smiling Mark McKay is live in the WSB 24-hour traffic center.
All right, Graham, active travel advisory in Doraville, live on the Jam Cam Hero unit, and Doraville police behind the Hero unit struggling to pull a big rig that stalled out on 285 westbound at Peachtree Boulevard, exit 31, out of the 2 right lanes. So those delays are back into the I-85 interchange. If you choose to stay on 85 south, be aware it's still a bit slow. 85 southbound in northeast Atlanta, leaving North Druid Hills Road. Construction takes out the left lane on the west side perimeter, 285 southbound, past South Cobb Drive, exit 15, and improving out of Cartersville at a stall stall that was in 2 right lanes, 75 southbound near Emerson, Allatoona. The Lake Allatoona area improving, headed south toward leaving Cartersville, trying to work your way into Cobb and Cherokee counties. Smile, Mark McKay, 95.5 WSB.
I'm WSB meteorologist Christina Upward. Sunny skies today, warming up to a high of 68. Clear and cool tonight, lows in the mid-40s. Tomorrow, sunshine, high 71, continuing to climb into the mid-70s by Saturday.
And right now, 57 degrees in Sandy Springs, 54 degrees in Hampton, and we have 55 degrees in Midtown Atlanta. More news at 10:30, breaking news when it happens. I'm Graham Carroll, 95.5 WSB.
Welcome back to the show on a good Thursday morning to you. Mark Aram here, you there. It's 10:05, 5 minutes after 10 o'clock. This is the Mark Aram Show, live Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to noon on 95.5 WSB. The core 4 with us today. Deborah, executive producer of the program. Longoria, the stoic Eskimo on the other side of the takeout window. Vinny Drip screens your calls. Coming up in just a couple minutes, we're going to talk to Greg Cope White, author. His book inspired a hit Netflix series called Boots. I just finished watching that. 1 hour from now, we're going to talk to Dr. Sanjay Gupta. Without a doubt, probably the most famous doctor in Metro Atlanta. And apologies to little Sanjay, the most famous Sanjay, certainly, in Atlanta. Very excited to talk to Dr. Gupta coming up in 1 hour. The big news, obviously, is the reopening of the government. Government shutdown is over after a record-breaking 43 days. Still to come, we'll go back live to D.C. and see if things are getting back to normal for all those federal workers that were furloughed, lost their jobs, or working without pay for 43 long days. Right now, though, going to continue our team coverage of the Epstein emails, a story that broke right as we were going on the air yesterday, covering it for ABC News. It's Peter Haralambous. Peter, yesterday morning we just had a handful of emails, but the House Democrats released a lot of these emails that they subpoenaed from the Epstein estate. How many emails in total, and what are the big takeaways, if any, from these emails?
Yeah, so this was a massive dump of documents from the House Oversight Committee, 23,000 pages in total, all of this coming from the Epstein estate. What's remarkable about this kind of dump of documents is that this is pretty much all new. In the past, when we've talked about Epstein files released by the Department of Justice, we've seen a lot of old materials just regurgitated, nothing really newsworthy. In this case, though, this is the first time we're seeing these documents despite the DOJ case, despite dozens of lawsuits, and it's really raising fresh questions about the extent to which Donald Trump knew about Jeffrey Epstein's behavior. There are multiple emails in which Epstein and Maxwell discussed Trump, and there's, emails that suggest the president was aware of the extent of Epstein's behavior with young girls.
So yesterday, when the first couple of emails were leaked, we just saw reported that emails from Epstein to just two people, Ghislaine Maxwell and Michael Wolff, the author. Now that we have the full volumes of emails, who else was getting and receiving emails from Jeffrey Epstein?
Yeah, so, the big emails where it comes to Trump were these notes with Ghislaine Maxwell in 2011 and then this email with Michael Wolff in 2019. But beyond that, the kind of emails opened up a wider world of how Epstein used his influence and basically how he operated for years and how he kind of peddled influence. For example, there was an exchange with Steve Bannon, the kind of chief strategist for the 2016 Trump campaign, who basically seems to consult with Epstein on kind of European affairs. This is as Bannon was kind of becoming more influential in Europe, kind of spreading populist ideas after Trump's victory in 2016. So that's kind of a remarkable exchange where you're kind of seeing how this information is used. There's another example in which he tries to kind of get his way to the Russian ambassador. He kind of suggests that he has information about how they could navigate Trump, basically trading information, the relationships he had, for more prestigious, more important relationships, and relationships that could theoretically make him more powerful and wealthier.
Peter, there was a phrase in an email yesterday that was released that I couldn't decipher. Epstein referring to Donald Trump, quote, as the dog that hasn't barked. What did that mean? Is that code? I couldn't figure out what he was talking about there.
Yeah, it seems to be a bit of code where they're discussing it's an email exchange between Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell in 2011, and basically Epstein says that he's not worried because Donald Trump is, quote, the dog that hasn't barked. And that seems to suggest, based on the full email exchange, that Trump had seen, and according to Epstein, Trump had seen him interact with one of these minor victims. We now understand that's Virginia Giuffre. And never said anything about it, to the point in which Epstein said he spent hours in the same house as Trump with Virginia Giuffre present, and he suggests that, Trump has never raised that as an issue. And Maxwell responds by saying, yeah, I've been thinking about that too, kind of suggesting that the president was aware of this and they didn't think he was going to be a problem when it came to his knowledge of all this. Now, I'll note Virginia Giuffre, before she died of suicide, had said on the record that she never saw Trump do anything inappropriately, and President Trump himself has said that he broke off the relationship with Epstein after he realized the extent of this. Specifically, recently Trump has said the relationship was broke off because Epstein was stealing people from Mar-a-Lago spa. Virginia Giuffre did work at that spa and was one of those people who was kind of poached by Epstein.
Peter, we now have the 218 votes in the House to release the, quote, Epstein files. Do we know if these emails that were subpoenaed from the Epstein estate, are these in the Epstein files already, or is this entirely new information for lawmakers?
It's hard to say for sure what's in that universe of documents versus this universe of documents, but it seems like there's new material here. There's new material that the DOJ perhaps didn't even have because it's coming straight from the estate. And now, of course, we'll see some momentum when it comes to whether or not we see the remaining Epstein files, the ones that have been in the files of the DOJ at this point for nearly a decade. With the signing in of Representative Grijalda, we now see that there's enough support for this discharge petition. The bigger question, though, becomes if there'll be enough support down the line in the Senate from the president to actually do anything about this.
Peter Haralambous, ABC News. Peter, as always, appreciate your time.
Thanks so much, Mark. Have a great morning.
So yesterday, Deborah, the only emails that we were privy to were emails to and from Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell and the author Michael Wolff. There are a ton more names that have come out now. I'm going to go down in just a second. But that thing that stuck out yesterday to me was like when Epstein was emailing Maxwell and said that Trump was the dog that didn't bark. And I was like, what the heck does that mean? Ellie Honig is a legal analyst and might have deciphered what exactly that meant, that dog doesn't bark.
The second part of this email is the whole dog that hasn't barked part of it. Now, that actually goes back to a Sherlock Holmes story about a robbery where a guard dog doesn't bark, and the inference is, well, the dog must have known the robbers. And this sounds like they're speculating about, is Donald Trump speaking to the police? Is he providing information because his name hasn't been mentioned, and nor has he said anything publicly. So it's important to think about the timing, Sarah, as you said. This is 2011. This is after Jeffrey Epstein has pled guilty in Florida to his sweetheart deal, before Donald Trump's running for president, of course, but he's in the public eye. So I think this raises important questions about the relationship between Trump and Epstein and what Trump knew back then.
So that was Ellie Honig. If it came from Sherlock Holmes, well, apparently Epstein's well read. I'd never heard of that as the dog that hadn't barked. All right, so the other names that Epstein was emailing to and from, some of these names you're going to recognize. So it was obviously Ghislaine Maxwell, but he also was emailing former U.S. Treasury Secretary and the former head of Harvard, Larry Summers, and they were exchanging emails in October of 2017. So Larry Summers was the Treasury Secretary from 1991 to 2001, and then president of Harvard between 2001 and 2006. The only reason I know that is from the Social Network movie. You remember when the Winklevoss twins went into? He was the president. What the hell is that guy email? Like, it's 2017, October. You know what Epstein is up to at that point. So he was emailing back and forth with Larry Summers. He was also emailing back and forth with Trump advisor Steve Bannon. Say what you will about Bannon, but Bannon, what is Steve Bannon emailing Epstein about? Catherine Ruemmler, now chief legal officer at Goldman Sachs, was also emailing Epstein. What? No matter how bad your day is going, folks, just be thankful you didn't email Jeffrey Epstein to his now notorious Yahoo account. That's crazy. Again, President Trump, there's nothing here. No criminal activity, nothing like that. But it's interesting. Oh, one other person that Epstein was emailing with, Peter Mandelson. That name might sound familiar to you. He was the UK ambassador to the U.S. that was just fired earlier this year. Yeah. An email between Epstein and Mandelson, who was fired this year from the UK ambassador to the U.S., appears to show Epstein regretting his association with the former Prince Andrew. Andrew last month was stripped of his royal titles by his brother King Charles over the links to Epstein. In hindsight, you were right about staying away from Andrew, wrote Epstein in November of 2016. That's Epstein going, man, I shouldn't have touched that. Like, how bad a person do you have to be where, like, Epstein's like, oh, Prince Andrew's killing my reputation. What the hell, man? And to me, this isn't a political issue. This is just, Jeffrey Epstein, without a doubt, I can't even think of a number two. The most notorious sex trafficker, pedophile in our lifetime. And anyone associated with him. And this is 2017, 2019. You're throwing email. He's like, this isn't the early 90s where like, oh, we don't know about Epstein and Ghislaine, what the hell they're doing. These people knew. Larry Summers knew. Steve Bannon knew. The head of Goldman Sachs, the lawyer for Goldman Sachs. Peter Mandelson, the UK. What are you doing? Yeah. Just get all the files out. I am shocked that Clinton's name didn't come up in these emails. Now, did the Democrats just not release those emails? I mean, if you watch the documentaries, it's a long shot that Clinton's name isn't in the Epstein files. I'm not saying that he did anything illegal, but he was on that island. He was on the plane. There's evidence there. We'll see what happens. The Epstein files, in case you missed it, the release of them, they got the 218th vote yesterday for the discharge petition. Now it'll be a full House vote. I'm dubious that it'll pass a full House vote. I think I'm in the minority there. I think people think it's going to pass there. The question is, will it pass the Senate? Folks are dubious that the Senate will vote to release the files. And even if it does, it goes to President Trump's desk. And will he veto this? Why doesn't he want the files released? I don't understand. That was a big, not him during the campaign, but, his orbit was like, hey, if we're elected, President Trump's going to release the files. Interesting times we live in. All right, quick break. When we come back, author Greg Cope White. If you have watched the Netflix hit show Boots, it's based on his book. We'll talk to him after. Hey, checking the ride around town at 10:17. Hello and good morning to Marvelous Mark McKay.
Good morning, Mark. A trio of trouble spots on 285. Let's begin on the east side between Clarkston and Sucker. Crash just played out. Two center lanes are knocked out. 285 northbound, the inner loop, Lawrenceville Highway, exit 38. Big rig that was stalled in two right lanes has just gotten off to the right shoulder thanks to a Hero unit in Doraville. 285 westbound, the outer loop at exit 31 Peachtree Boulevard. And construction slowing you out of Cobb County on 285 southbound past South Cobb Drive, exit 15. The delays are associated with that left lane road work heading toward Hollowell Parkway. This report sponsored by Anthem Blue Cross and Blue Shield. Learn more about their support of common threads and nutrition education at anthem.com/dream. Anthem Blue Cross and Blue Shield is the trade name of Blue Cross Blue Shield Healthcare Plan of Georgia, Inc. Smile Mark McKay, 95.5 WSB.
The U.S. is investing up to $1 billion to fight the spread of bird flu.
At the top and bottom of every hour.
Traffic congestion around Metro Atlanta continues to cost commuters.
And when it breaks.
The suspect is in critical condition after being struck multiple times.
Check back 3, 4, 5 times a day for the latest.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's breaking news station.
Attention Georgia homeowners, what if your windows actually paid you back? I know that sounds crazy, but let me explain. Hey, it's Ray, owner of Window Comfort. At Window Comfort, our factory direct windows are so energy efficient that most homeowners see their power bills drop enough to cover their monthly payment. And right now, you can get buy two, get two windows free, plus we're going to throw in free installation when you schedule your free estimate this month. And here's my guarantee. If your energy bills don't drop by at least 35% in the first 12 months, we're going to pay you the difference in cash. I'm that confident. Every window we install is backed by a double lifetime warranty, and they're built specifically for Georgia. You have nothing to lose and everything to save. Beat the cold this year. It takes 30 seconds to see if you qualify. Go to windowcomfort.com.
Terms and conditions apply. See windowcomfort.com.
Better prices, better views. Window Comfort, meant just for you. Window Comfort.
I'm here with Chris Hoffman, the founder of Hoffman Financial Group and host of Money Unleashed. Chris, every week on the show, we offer folks something we call the Portfolio X-Ray. I was hoping you could walk us through that process and tell us why the information it uncovers is so powerful.
Yeah, so the reason we love doing the Portfolio X-Ray for you is we do that behind the scenes. Everybody's extremely busy. Nobody wants to waste time in traffic. If you call in, we will ask you for some information via the phone. Once you've given us that information, we go to work and we put all the hours in developing the report. And I commit this to you. The Portfolio X-Ray is eye-opening. At least 90+% of the time, we can find 2 or 3 golden nuggets in there that you were not aware of that we can either change in your current portfolio mix for you. It's called a 401k optimizer. Or if we manage the assets for you, we certainly can recommend how to diversify away from some of the troubling points that are exposed during the Portfolio X-Ray. Once we've got that, then we'll have you in for your initial consultation. We will present the Portfolio X-Ray to you and walk you through the high points of it. And that's a document that you get to take with you. It's like getting a financial physical. So how many of you avoided going to the doctor for the annual physical last year? You do the same thing with your financial life. You ignore it. You keep pumping money into your 401k. You hope that it's going well, and I can tell you that hope is not a good investment or financial planning strategy. You need to know. So if you want to know, call us.
The Portfolio X-Ray is complimentary. Give Hoffman Financial Group a call to schedule yours today. 404-737-3858, 404-737-3858, or online at unleashyourmoney.com. Investment advisory services offered through Brookstone Wealth Advisors, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through Hoffman Financial Group Incorporated, Georgia Insurance License number 163546.
Hey guys, are you striking out in the bedroom? Because pills like Viagra, Cialis, and Levitra just don't work anymore. Here's how Choice Men's Health is solving PE and ED issues. Meet Dr. Katz, the expert in men's health.
Hi, I'm Dr. Katz, Chief Medical Director at Choice Men's Health. Choice Men's Health offers safe, custom-blended medications designed to fit your needs. There is no pain or surgery. It doesn't matter how old you are or if you have diabetes, high blood pressure, or prostate issues. Not a problem. It's safe and affordable for everyone. You'll see results in 15 minutes guaranteed, or you don't pay anything. Solve the problem of ED and PE now.
For a limited time, your initial consultation and first treatment are free. Call now, 404-400-1170. That's 404-400-1170 to claim your initial consultation and first treatment for free. Call Choice Men's Health now, 404-400-1170.
Scratching, scampering, and scurrying noises in your attic? You've got squirrels. Hey, it's Mark Aram here. Better get Breda Pest Management to kick them out before those squirrely scoundrels start running an Airbnb in your attic. Those squirrels not leaving without a fight. They'll keep coming back, chewing new holes over and over again. Under the Breda Wildlife Guarantee, you stay protected and at no additional cost.
Breda, no need to be afraid of bugs.
Coming up from the Atlanta Symphony Orchestra, a Delta classical concert featuring French nonpareil Hélène Grimaud. Performing Brahms' stormy first piano concerto, Stutzman pairs Brahms with his mentor, the romantic Robert Schumann, with his third symphony nicknamed the Rhenish Symphony, for evoking sights and sounds along the storied Rhine. November 20th and 21st at Symphony Hall. Details at aso.org.
10:34 on the Mark Arum Show. Montezuma. I am so amped up to talk Marines today because last night, Deborah, I finished binge watching the Netflix hit show Boots, based on the novel The Pink Marine, written by our next guest, Greg Cope White. Greg, good morning. Thanks so much for your time.
Good morning, Mark. Thank you for watching and the shout out about the book.
All right, so listen, I've got a million questions to ask about the book and the series, but I don't want to give away any spoilers to folks that haven't read the book or watched the series. So let me just be general so we don't have any spoilers. How close to real life was the Netflix series Boots?
Well, it's an adaptation of my book. We changed some things for theatrical reasons, obviously, and then one thing that's a little bit different is in the book, you meet a lot of the characters that are in the show, but because my book is a memoir about my time and I talk about the guys in the writer's room for the show, we were able to build out those backstories of the other characters more. So you're falling in love with a lot of different characters in the show.
It was phenomenal. Again, no spoilers, but Ochoa's storyline, was that really what happened?
No, that did not happen in our platoon. You can read in the book, the character in the book was super nervous and jumpy. He was the high shooter and all that. Yeah. But that was not his fate. In the book, he had said he was going to go AWOL in the book.
Again, no spoilers. Sergeant Sullivan. Was that really Sergeant Sullivan when you were enlisted?
Part of it, yes.
Okay.
But not the direction that we took him for dramatic reasons.
Okay, very good. All right, so for folks that don't know, when did you enlist in the Marines? What year was this?
I enlisted in 79, and we moved the timeline of the show up to 1990 because that gives us the potential for Desert Storm and Operation Freedom and those things, and we get to tackle Don't Ask, Don't Tell if we get enough seasons. When I went in, it was illegal to be gay. It was before Don't Ask.
Well, that's what was, shocking to me. Like, if you enlisted in 79, that was a big risk as a gay man, enlisting in the Marines.
And not just for me. I enlisted with my childhood best friend. And by the way, we're still best friends today, all these years later. And he could have lost everything as well because he was going along with it.
Yeah, unbelievable. All right, so I don't want to, I think you might have just teased that we might see a second season of Boots. Is that in the works?
I hope so. I served 6 years, so I've certainly got plenty of stories, and I wasn't the only Marine writer on the show. There were 2 other Marine writers on the show as well, so we've got stories, as they say.
Watch the show, folks. Boots. Read the book, The Pink Marine. Greg Cope White, Cope, as he's known in the show. Fantastic stuff, man. I really enjoyed that series.
Mark, your conversation and wanting to have this conversation and broadcasting it to the fabulous crowd out there in Atlanta is exactly what it takes to get a second season. I can't tell you how wonderful it is to see so many people talking. Halloween costumes were hysterical to watch. And, that's the highest praise when people are dressing up as your characters for Halloween.
It really was. It really was phenomenal, and I really hope there's a season 2. I got to give credit to Chris Crawford. He recommended the show to me. Crawdaddy, thank you. First episode is like, stick through it. It's like Full Metal Jacket. It's very tense, but then it calms down as it goes. But yeah, I do recommend watching Boots. Read the book, The Pink Marine. All right, when we come back, stock markets are up, but expenses are high. I'll go in depth next on the Mark Arum Show.
The NBA season's rolling, and DraftKings' newest game, Pick 6, is the easiest way to play for your shot at big wins. NBA stars are lighting it up. Now their numbers aren't just highlights. They're your shot to cash in. Here's how it works. Just pick more or less on 2 or more player stats. The better your picks, the bigger your payout. New DraftKings customers get $50 in Pick 6 credits with just a $5 entry on your first pick set. Don't just watch basketball. Pick, play, cash in. win. Download the DraftKings Pick 6 app now and use code Atlanta Talk. That's code Atlanta Talk. Play just $5 and get $50 in Pick 6 credits. Make the call. Ride the upside in partnership with DraftKings Pick 6. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Must be 18 and over. Age and eligibility restrictions vary by jurisdiction. Void where prohibited. One per new customer. Bonus awarded as non-withdrawable Pick 6 credits that expire in 14 days. Ends December 2nd at 11:59 p.m. Eastern Time. Terms at pick6.draftkings.com/promos.
Whether it's a slip that ends in a slip disc, a trick knee that's holding you back, or shoulder pain hurting your game, you can count on Northside Hospital Orthopedics. With leading care in Georgia at convenient locations all across the state, we're here to get you back on your feet, no matter what comes your way. Because Georgia moves us, and we keep Georgia moving. Find a provider near you at northside.com/ortho. That's northside.com/ORTHO.
The pre-Black Friday sale is happening now at Georgia Spa Company. Beat the Black Friday rush and shop early for the best selection. Save up to 30% off hot tubs, saunas, swim spas, and cold plunges. With 9 locations around Georgia, there's a Georgia Spa Company near you. So instead of rushing around all over town on Black Friday trying to find great deals, you'll already have gotten one and will be relaxing in a hot tub, sauna, or swim spa from Georgia Spa Company. So don't wait, these deals are not going to last. Visit georgiaspaccompany.com for details.
Live from the Superior Plumbing Studios.
News,
weather,
traffic.
95.5 WSB.
Atlanta's News and Talk.
Good morning at 10:30. I'm Graham Carroll. This news brought to you by your Metro Atlanta Amco dealers. Our top local story, a security scare this week, temporarily interrupting a flight at Atlanta's Hartsfield-Jackson Airport.
A passenger aboard a Frontier Airlines flight finds what appears to be a loaded firearm magazine while boarding an Airbus A320 aircraft. The mag is discovered near seat 7A, is marked with the initials KH, and contains 10 hollow point rounds. The flight was set to take off from Atlanta to Cincinnati. Passengers were removed from the flight while officers at Atlanta Police K-9 unit searched the plane. No other concerning items were found. The flight eventually continued on to Cincinnati. The FBI has been notified. Cheryl Castro, 95.5 WSB.
Meanwhile, Hartsfield-Jackson joins all airports nationwide looking to get back to normal operations now that the government shutdown is over. The FAA is keeping in place a mandate to reduce flight schedules for now. That allows a little extra time to get control towers back to pre-shutdown staffing levels. As for that measure to bring the shutdown to an end, one provision has become a concern for many lawmakers.
The bill the president signed includes a provision allowing senators to sue the government for $500,000 in damages if their records have been subpoenaed without their knowledge. Republicans say special counsel Jack Smith sought court orders for the call logs of 8 GOP senators, and some of them say they're now likely to sue under the new law. But House Republicans are furious that the provision, which doesn't cover them, was added to the bill by the Senate, and Speaker Mike Johnson now says he'll hold a vote to repeal it.
And Stephen Portnoy says there are also plenty of Democrats who are upset as well. Experts tell a panel of state lawmakers social media and phone usage in schools negatively impacts Georgia students.
Addiction is how Dr. Stan Sonu describes the hold that social media and phones have on kids. Sonu says device usage in school can greatly impact a student's mental health.
When they're permitted to use it in schools, even during breaks, it's not so much a question of willpower or their values or respect for authority or their teacher as it is simple brain chemistry. If the phone is available, they will use it and they will go on social media.
Lawmakers are set to release a report on proposed changes to school policy around technology use ahead of the upcoming session. Jonathan O'Brien, 95.5 WSB.
DeKalb County officials hold a virtual town hall as they draft proposed regulations for building data centers. DeKalb's planning director, Julia Njoku, says residents will expect to have every data center held to high standards.
The ordinance that we're putting forth is going to the top of the standard, a standard that we're going to hold to any data center. If there's any violation of those standards, we were clear up front.
And planners are considering details on everything from lights and noise to water consumption and tree preservation. The draft ordinance will be sent to commissioners next week. Two Atlanta-based companies, Delta Airlines and Chick-fil-A, make the top 10 list in Forbes' ranking of the 300 most trusted companies with over 1,000 employees. The analysis looking at how much the companies are trusted by employees, customers, investors, and the wider business community. NVIDIA topping the list, followed by Amazon and Netflix. Others in the top 10, American Express, Morgan Stanley, Publix Supermarkets, Bank of America, and Marriott. It is 10:33 and it's time now for live team coverage of traffic and weather. Smiling Mark McKay is live in the WSB 24-hour traffic center.
All right, Graham, we're tracking delays in northwest Atlanta heading toward Midtown. DOT says 3 right lanes taken out with a crash. I-75 southbound right at the Howell Mill Northside Drive exit 252. We're scanning the jam cam for that crash, but I can see the delays now forming south of Moores Mill Road. You can always use Northside Drive to get into Midtown. It's a bit slow on the connector south leaving Georgia Tech, breaking free at William Street. The east side perimeter will recover. Crash that was in 2 center lanes has gone to the right shoulder. DeKalb police are with it on 285 northbound at Lawrenceville Highway. That's exit 38. And west side perimeter construction persists in the left lane of 285 south. The outer loop south of South Cobb Drive, exit 50. Smiler Mark McKay, 95.5 WSB.
This is WSB meteorologist Christina Upward. Sunny skies and warmer today. Highs in the upper 60s to low 70s. Lows tonight in the mid 40s. Tomorrow, sunshine, high 71. Mostly sunny on Saturday with highs in the mid 70s.
And right now, 58 degrees in Woodstock, 62 degrees in Stonecrest, and 61 degrees in Midtown Atlanta. More news at 11 o'clock. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Graham Carroll, 95.5 WSB.
The shutdown is over.
This is what the American people sent us here to do.
Not everyone is happy.
Republicans have no health care plan.
Now from air travel to SNAP benefits to health care. What does this all mean for you?
The bill extends funding for SNAP benefits for a full year and reverses shutdown-related layoffs of federal workers.
Washington gets back to work.
Georgia's delegation voted along party lines in that.
Listen throughout the day for the latest.
It's an honor now to sign this incredible bill.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's breaking news station.
If we had the filibuster terminated, this would never happen again. And
President Trump speaking to reporters after he signed to reopen the government. We'll continue our coverage of the end of the government shutdown in 2 minutes on The Mark Arum Show.
Hi, I'm Emily, your friend and jeweler at Shane Company, where a small box with a burgundy bow will help you win the holidays. As an in-house designer, I love creating meaningful, fine jewelry gifts. Choose a necklace with a gorgeous infinity charm to symbolize your everlasting love. Or go for a personalized piece with an engraving, their zodiac sign, favorite color gemstone, or their initial accented with pave diamonds. Because a friend wants you to be a holiday hero. Stop by or shop now at shaneco.com. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
It's time to renovate your home and you've got designs in your head, but will they pass code? Hire Sketchhouse Architects before you call a builder to make sure your design is up to code and zoning compliant. Hi, I'm Richard Taylor, architect at Sketchhouse. We're going to make this easy to get your ideas on paper, and Sketchhouse will connect you with multiple builders to bid on your job through the Sketchhouse Builders Network. You're going to save thousands of dollars with Sketchhouse Architects. We're going to make this easy for you. Go to sketchhouse.com. That's sketch, H-A-U-S, sketchhouse.com.
If you need a furnace, think of Reliable with unbeatable lifetime warranty and only $59.99 a month. It's getting cold out there. Don't be a turkey this Thanksgiving. Hey, it's Mark Arum here. Reliable Heating Air wants to keep you warm and feed you too with free Turkey Tuesday. Every Tuesday leading up to Thanksgiving, listen to my show for your chance to win a free Thanksgiving turkey courtesy of Reliable Heating and Air, the name Atlanta trusts when it's time to turn on the heat. Stay cozy, save energy, and keep your oven and your furnace cooking this holiday season. Visit ReliableAir.com to schedule your furnace check today.
Is your financial advisor offering you up to a 30% upfront bonus? Or are they promising you up to 10% growth per year, all for your retirement income? If not, then you need to come to Trajan Wealth. I'm Jeff Jr., founder of Trajan Wealth. If you have a plan to retire within the next 10 years, don't wait only to find out it's too late. I've seen hardworking folks like you retire only to be required to go back to work, all because their advisor told them guarantees like these were too good to be true. They're not. That's up to $30,000 upfront or up to $10,000 per year on $100,000, all guaranteed for retirement income. Don't keep working when you're supposed to be retired, and don't let any financial advisor tell you it's too good to be true. Call Trajan today. 404-208-3300. That's 404-208-3300.
Annuities, not advisory products. DBA Trajan Wealth Insurance Solutions. Additional disclosures at trajanwealth.com.
85 years ago today, the Disney classic Fantasia premiered. This is the Nutcracker Suite, performed by the Philadelphia Symphony Orchestra. I am shocked that Philadelphia has a symphony orchestra. That's a city that I don't...
it's not my favorite city, I'll say that.
I don't associate the fine arts with Philadelphia. The Liberty Bell
They were the
cheesesteaks.
first capital, right?
Horrible sports fans. That's what I associate, but Fantasia premiered 85 years ago today. Continue our coverage of the reopening of the government. Last hour, we went live to the world's busiest airport and talked to CNN's Isabel Rosales on things hopefully normalizing at the world's busiest. New audio from Ed Bastian. He is the CEO of Delta Airlines.
Staffing levels almost overnight improved dramatically. So last couple days, the only cancellations that Delta had were the government mandated cancellations for us, which is mostly on our smaller planes. And I expect by the weekend, we're pretty much going to be full steam ahead.
I hope Maya's not listening. Security wait times nil right now at the airport. 1 minute to get through the main north and lower north checkpoints. Flight delays and cancellations out of Hartsfield, a drop in the bucket to what we've seen. Only 31 delays today and only 85 cancellations. I mean, it stinks if you're one of the 85, but
it might have been a good weekend to go because so few people were flying.
yeah, absolutely. So the government's reopened. Good news there from Ed Bastian. Not great news when it comes to home ownership here in the United States. Not talking about that new proposed 50-year mortgage, but foreclosures here in the U.S. are surging, Deborah.
It seems that homeowners are falling behind on their mortgages with this job losses and, of course, just the cost of living being so much more. October saw about 36,000 foreclosures, which is up 3% from September, and that's up 19% from October of last year. It's a lot of foreclosures.
Keep talking while I adjust my chair. Sorry about that. Yeah, it is. So I want to talk about the economy in general. We've been talking about the increased price of basically everything right now. Record ground beef prices, surging cost of energy, surging cost of housing. Really, the only thing that is lower now than it was a year ago is gasoline. We're paying much more. Food insecurity is up. Even before the shutdown, we talked to Mr. Wade, the CEO of the Atlantic Community Food Bank. They've seen a 70% increase in folks needing their services. So it's been going back to the Biden administration, right? The inflation's been it's hurting us. Some of us, let me say that, some of us. Now, you've heard the phrase, Deborah, home poor, right? If you've never heard it, basically it's you own your home, you've got a ton of equity in your home, or your home's paid off, so you've got that, right? But you're struggling to pay your bills. I know a lot of folks, I know personally some friends that have been home poor or currently home poor. Like they've got their $500,000 house is paid off, but they're living paycheck to paycheck. I think we're seeing a trend now. I'm gonna dub this phrase, trademark it, write it down, Shani B. Retirement account poor. I think that's the new home poor, because the stock market, I mean, it's down significantly this morning, but it's up huge. The Dow's at 48,000. NASDAQ's at 23,000. S&P's at 6,800. Like, these are crazy numbers. So if you have a 401k, IRA, money market accounts, like the economy might be really, really tough, but your retirement accounts are bursting at the seams. So there are folks out there, and I'll admit it, like I've had my 401k since I started here day one. Thank the Lord for Clark Howard making me do that. And I'm I'm looking at my retirement app. I'm like, holy cow, this is awesome. But that huge retirement savings that I have isn't helping me buy the Whoppers at Burger King or going grocery shopping or paying my health care costs. So I think we have this retirement account poor generation. And it's probably my generation and older, Gen X through the boomers. 39%, this is a crazy stat, 39% of all stocks and mutual funds in the United States are owned by Americans age 70 and over. 39%. Now, once you hit that 70 mark, you can start cashing in on your 401k. You're not necessarily retirement account poor because you have access penalty-free to your retirement accounts. But if you're 35 to 55, there's a good chance that you're not house poor, you're retirement account poor. Meaning you've got a nice nest egg that makes you feel comfortable for retirement, but that ain't helping you when you're going grocery shopping or paying your mortgage, which is, the elevated mortgage rates. And then there's folks that don't have the retirement account to fall back on. The younger generation, you're just poor. Wages aren't keeping up with inflation. You're too young to have built up any equity in a home or a huge amount in your retirement savings. That's the folks that are really, really suffering right now. Are folks that never set up that 401k or IRA, and you're deep into your working life. You're in your mid-40s and you don't have that, and you don't have the equity in your home, and you've got a stagnant salary. Stagnant paycheck, and then you have to go to the grocery store and you're paying 30% more than you did last year, or you just did open enrollment, and I, by the way, did open enrollment yesterday.
Not too bad.
It was an increase,
but nothing too crazy.
Nothing too crazy. Now I am the weird. I don't know if this is the right thing to do or not, because I, like most men, I don't go to the doctor. So I've got an extremely high deductible, which keeps my costs down.
I mean, if that's what you choose, right? If you think you're overall healthy, then that should be fine.
Well,
that's what I do too, right?
I am not overall healthy for sure.
I think you are.
Yeah, I mean, I don't knock on wood. I think, poo. But so I saw an increase, but I did not get the sticker shock that I was expecting with open enrollment. And you said yours was manageable.
Mine was not as shocking either.
Yeah.
Like I knew it was because we got an email saying, yes, prices are going up, and it kind of freaked out. But once I went through the process, I'm like, okay, that I can handle. That's fine.
Yeah. So I was pleasantly surprised. I upped some things. But again, unless Maya forces me, I don't go to the doctor. So I picked the plan that's going to cost the least per month. And I don't have a family of 4 or 5 to and Maya's got her own health insurance through the school system. Oh, by the way, I'm so glad I did this. Did I mention this, Deborah? So I hadn't done the open enrollment, like actually go in depth and do it in a long time. And I forgot we have life insurance here at the station. And I hadn't updated that at all. I was like, oh, life insurance. That's right. Yeah, I get it. It's great. I hadn't updated my beneficiary. So I clicked on it, and my brother was still my beneficiary. So I was like, oh, how mad would Maya be if I kick the bucket and my brother and it's a sizable life insurance policy.
Yeah, it's a good life insurance policy.
So I'm doing open enrollment yesterday after the show, and I text Maya, I'm like, hey, I need your social. And she's like, is this a scam? What's going on? I'm like, no, I gotta, I want you to be the beneficiary of my life insurance policy. Anyway, so there you go. Retirement account poor. I think that's for the Gen Xers out there. I think that's a lot of us. If you've been smart financially, you've got at least a building nest egg. Maybe it's not ready for retirement right now, but you see what the stock market's doing. It's like, oh, wow, it's up so much. It's great. But I'm still living paycheck to paycheck. I think there's a large portion of the U.S. populate in that 35 to 55 range that are retirement account poor, where you might feel comfortable at retirement age, but right now you're missing that paycheck. And a lot of those folks are those federal workers. And we had Clark Howard on. It was so great to have Clark on a couple weeks ago talking about, if you are a furloughed worker or you're a federal worker that wasn't getting those paychecks, what to do and not to do. And Clark was like, do not dip into your retirement account. There's other ways to do it because it's sitting there, but you can't touch it. So I think I just invented a new phrase. Retirement account poor. That's the new house poor. I might have just earned star of the show. I might have. I'm not really sure. 10:47 on the Mark Arum Show. Coming up after the news at 11, Dr. Sanjay Gupta is going to join us. Right now, though, the doctor of traffic, Smiling Mark McKay.
Been watching delays near Hartsfield, Mark, on the Jam Cam. It's a right lane crash in East Point on 285 northbound, the inner loop, before Camp Creek Parkway, exit 2. West side perimeter headed southbound. Construction holding you up. Left lane is lost on 285 south, past South Cobb Drive, exit 15. Crash just left the scene, actually, no longer on the shoulder even. I-75 southbound at Northside Drive, exit 252. Still seeing brake lights as you head south toward the downtown connector. Smiler Mark McKay, 95.5 WSB.
He's the guy at the desk next to you.
It's not as bad as it could be.
He's your co-pilot for the ride home.
Hey, the ladies are at home. Let's smoke cigars.
Eric Von Hessler.
Some sort of cultural affirmation. Yes, I am this kind of man.
Today at 3.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
Findlay Roofing. The Roof guys are proud to support Clark's Christmas Kids again this year. Findlay will donate at least $15,000 to Clark's Christmas Kids. Time to replace your roof? Please think of Findlay first. FindlayRoofing.com.
Holidays coming up. Guys, you want to shock and amaze your friends, family, and loved ones that you're going to see this holiday and you haven't seen in a while? How about taking care of your bald spot, your receding hairline, or your thinning hair for my friends at Advanced Hair? Yes, you can get it done. It's Mark Arum back here. Advanced Hair offers the proven, guaranteed solution that regrows your hair, check it out, where it's currently gone. Bald one day, your real hair starts growing the next day. Quick, simple, one-day treatment, and your real hair begins to grow the very next day, and it's guaranteed to grow from life. Shock and amaze your friends and family this holiday season, getting your hair back. If you want it back, now's the time. Advanced Hair is the place. Takes just one visit, but first you need a free consultation. Schedule now, 470-660-HAIR or advancedhair.com, and if you move forward, you get $250 off plus 250 free grafts. One-day treatment, life-changing results, your own natural hair guaranteed to grow. Advancedhair.com.
I'm Channel 2's Lori Wilson.
I'm Fred Blankenship. Channel 2 Extra News this morning is the best place to be for breaking news.
So much is happening, and we're on it. Our reporters are the first to know in your community, bringing you fresh information, the best video.
We know you depend on us. It's why we're everywhere, live, to prepare you for the day ahead.
In the morning, see what's new.
Don't miss a day. Join us. Channel 2 Extra News this morning, 4:30 to 7.
Been wanting a new deck for your home, something that's built just the way you want it, but you're scared to pull the trigger? I can help you with that. Dave Baker here for Ben Hill Renovations. Right now, Ben Hill Renovations are offering special financing. No interest if you pay in full within the 18 months promo period. You're welcome. Visit bhrenovations.com today and schedule a free design consultation at your home. Ben Hill Renovations, creating raving fans since 1964.
I'm so excited to hear my son's band play tonight. They've been, be right back. They've been rehearsing, bathroom break. Overactive bladder can mean missing out on life's moments, navigating life around the nearest bathroom instead of the next experience. Medtronic therapies have treated nearly 500,000 people worldwide with bladder or bowel control problems. Let Medtronic show you what's possible. Visit medtronic.com/bladderhelp to learn how.
The pre-Black Friday sale is happening now at Georgia Spa Company. Beat the Black Friday rush and shop early for the best selection. Save up to 30% off hot tubs, saunas, swim spas, and cold plunges. With 9 locations around Georgia, there's a Georgia Spa Company near you. So instead of rushing around all over town on Black Friday trying to find great deals, you'll already have gotten one and will be relaxing in a hot tub, sauna, or swim spa from Georgia Spa Company. So don't wait. These deals are not going to last. Visit georgiaspacompany.com for details.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now.
800-575-2798.
Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-2798. That's 800-575-2798. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Most critters don't hibernate, but they do get cold. That's why they're so determined to get inside your home. Scott Slade here. Breda Pest Management will send a highly trained wildlife expert to remove your critters like they were never there. Under the Breda Wildlife Guarantee, if critters return, you're covered at no additional cost. Breda Pest Management. They handle bugs and critters. BREDAPest.com.
Breda, no need to be afraid of bugs.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ziprecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate through the site within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. Just go to this exclusive web address, ziprecruiter.com/free. That's ziprecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Shorty, you're my angel, you're my darling.
10:54 on the Mark Aron Show. Coming back to Shaggy, Angel, Shaggy in the news. I like it when musicians are in the news for a good reason, Deborah. Updating the devastation to Jamaica in the hurricane season. Shaggy and who are doing a benefit concert?
Well, Shaggy and Sean Paul, they're the big headliners for this Jamaica Strong benefit that's going to be in New York on December 12th. And it's to raise aid for Jamaica after the effects of Hurricane Melissa. But there's also a bunch of other artists on the bill, too. You've got Inner Circle, who you might remember from the Cops theme, you know, the Bad Boys.
Oh, Bad Boys, yeah,
okay,
yeah.
That's Inner Circle. That's their big hit. And then Kaimani Marley, obviously related
Marley.
to, not the person who worked here, but Bob Marley's son, one of Bob Marley's son. And then a bunch of other Jamaican and Caribbean artists will be there as well.
I love it. Did you go through a reggae phase in your musical development?
I wouldn't call it a phase. I really do like reggae music, but growing up in the Midwest, there wasn't a lot of that culture until college, and I met actual people from the Caribbean.
Yeah.
And it's just a fun group of
I
musicians.
do love reggae music. Dance hall style-y. I got obsessed with the dance hall music in the mid to late 90s. Phenomenal. So is this concert in Jamaica?
No, it's going to be at
good.
the New York's UBS Arena. So, and there's a large Caribbean
Huge.
in New York, right? Well, Shelley Winter, right?
Yeah, exactly. Shelley's brother. Wasn't me. Well, that's good because I would imagine, Jamaica doesn't have the infrastructure.
Yeah, the infrastructure
yet,
there is not. So they're going to be able to help and raise a lot of money to go back to Jamaica.
Vin, aspiring musical producer, you down with reggae, Vin?
Oh, yeah.
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 Influences what you do, what you spin, what you stylize?
I used to not like it, but I can whine. I can get my jig on a little.
There you go. Vinny Drip endorsing reggae. We haven't talked about this in a while. The end of the United States 1 cent piece, also known as the penny. A penny for your thoughts might now be a collector's item. The Mint has now stopped producing them. After 230 years in circulation, the final penny was minted yesterday in Philadelphia.
The nostalgia the penny holds is priceless. From the candy it used to buy,
squirrel nuts, what's the little fishes,
to those custom engraved souvenir machines. The last time a coin was discontinued was the half cent in 1857. Now, nearly 170 years later, coin collectors say just like no one misses the half cent, people will forget about the penny.
I'm sure they will. I regret now when I moved out of my old house to my new house, I had all these buckets of change accumulated, and I went to Publix and used one of those Coinstar machines. Do you remember that? I got like $1,200 So all my pennies, but they might actually be worth more now since there's a shortage of them. I know there's
No, they're saying they're still legal tender. You can
Yeah.
still use them at stores. They're still going to be a penny.
But there's still, well, a lot of stores are starting to round up now, right? They're like, all right, no more pennies. Then your sausage burrito is not going to be $2.38 anymore. It's $2.40. Longoria. All right, when we come back, very excited for the first time ever. Dr. Sanjay Gupta joins us next on the Mark Arum Show.
WSB Atlanta, WSBB FM, and HD1 Doraville. 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's news and talk.
Whether it's a slip that ends in a slip disc, a trick knee that's holding you back, or shoulder pain hurting your game, you can count on Northside Hospital Orthopedics. With leading care in Georgia at convenient locations all across the state, we're here to get you back on your feet, no matter what comes your way. Because Georgia moves us, and we keep Georgia moving. Find a provider near you at northside.com/ortho. That's northside.com/ORTHO.
This is Jonathan Geller at D. Geller & Son Jewelers. My dad, Mike. Dad, what's the all-time best Christmas gift?
Diamond studs. Everybody needs a pair.
And ours don't break the bank. Real diamonds set in gold from just $275. And with D. Geller & Son's lifetime upgrade, get 100% of what you paid towards a bigger pair anytime for life.
We also have diamond jackets for $5.95 that go around the studs to instantly change the look.
So come spend the holidays with the experts at D. Geller & Son in Kennesaw, Sandy Springs, and online at dgeller.com.
If you have Medicaid and are new to Medicare, you may qualify to enroll in a Humana Medicare Advantage dual-eligible special needs plan with a lot more benefits, like dental, vision, and hearing, along with helpful support when you need it most. Now is the time to see if you qualify to enroll. It only takes a few minutes to find out if you're eligible. Our licensed sales agents are ready to help you understand your options. So this Medicare planning season, we can help you plan well. Learn more at humanaduals.com. Humana, a more human way to healthcare. Humana is a dual-eligible special needs HMO SNP plan with a Medicare contract and a contract with the state Medicaid program. Enrollment in any Humana plan depends on contract renewal.
News, weather,
traffic. 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's news and talk.
Good morning. It's 11 o'clock. I'm Veronica Waters. The news this hour brought to you by the Next Generation Xfinity 10G network. Our top story, the government shutdown is officially over. Federal workers are headed back to their jobs, and back pay is expected to be on the way. But air travel delays may not be catching up just yet. Delta CEO Ed Bastian believes, though, it won't take long.
Staffing levels almost overnight improved dramatically. So last couple days, the only cancellations that Delta had were the government mandated cancellations for us, which is mostly on our smaller planes. And I expect by the weekend we're pretty much going to be full steam ahead.
Still, most Democrats opposed the stopgap legislation because it doesn't address rising health care costs. Many Affordable Care Act customers are still likely to see their premiums double or more without subsidies to help them pay. It is 64 degrees now in Midtown Atlanta. WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards says blue skies and sunshine will greet you today. Going to be a bit warmer, too, with highs in the upper 60s. Atlanta's most accurate and dependable forecast is coming up. The FBI is notified after a passenger finds a firearm magazine while boarding a flight at Hartsfield-Jackson.
Atlanta police are called to the Atlanta airport regarding the magazine found on board a Frontier Airlines plane near seat 7A. The mag contained 10 hollow point rounds and was marked with the initials KH. It was discovered during boarding for the return flight to Cincinnati. All passengers were removed from the plane. Officers in Atlanta Police K-9 unit searched the Airbus A320 plane and determined there was no active threat. TSA rescreened all passengers and they eventually continued on the flight. Cheryl Castro, 95.5 WSB.
Forbes magazine looks over some 2,000 companies and comes out with a list of the 300 most trusted. And two hometown favorites rank very high.
The ranking takes into consideration media sentiment and how much the companies are trusted by their employees, customers, investors, and the wider business community. Assistant Managing Editor Alan Schwartz.
So we have ratings from Glassdoor, from 100X, a consumer ratings company, Signal AI, a media monitoring folks.
Correspondent Christopher Cruz reports NVIDIA tops the list of the most trusted companies. Chick-fil-A is number 6 and Delta Airlines ranks 10th. Apple introduces a new way to present your identification, digital ID in Apple Wallet on your iPhone. You'll be able to use it at TSA checkpoints at more than 250 airports in the U.S., and we are working to find a full list. Apple says you create the ID using your U.S. passport, even if you don't have a real ID-compliant driver's license or state ID. Still, this will not replace a physical passport. Georgia already accepts the use of ID in Wallet. Spirit Airlines is slashing flights in a desperate effort to stem losses, and it could affect how much you pay for your holiday travel. Aviation analytics firm Cirium finds there will be nearly 11,000 fewer Spirit flights this holiday travel season compared to last year. And with Spirit flying fewer routes, it won't put nearly as much pressure on larger airlines to cut fares. The House will vote next week on whether to compel the Justice Department to release the Jeffrey Epstein files, but the bill faces an uphill battle in the Senate. Governor Patrick Morrisey says crews have found the body of a West Virginia coal miner missing 4 days after a mine flooded there. Morrisey says foreman Steve Lipscomb was found early today after the water receded enough for rescue crews to enter the mine. They were hoping that he had found an air pocket and was still alive as they pumped water out of the mine. It's 11:03. The Mark Arum Show continues in less than 2 minutes. But first, we've got live team coverage of your traffic and weather, beginning with Alex Williams in the WSB 24-hour traffic center.
Hey, good morning, Veronica. Right now, watching some left lane construction on the west side perimeter, 285 southbound, passing South Cobb Drive, exit number 15, causing a few brake lights back to South Atlanta Road. Heads up, leaving Stone Mountain. Just found a crash on the Jam Cam. It's in the right lane, Highway 78 westbound between Memorial Drive and Mountain Industrial Boulevard. That's why the ride is starting to slow back toward Hugh Howell, so just stay in those left lanes. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
I'm WSB meteorologist Christina Upward. Sunny skies today, warming up to a high of 68. Clear and cool tonight, lows in the mid-40s. Tomorrow, sunshine, high 71, continuing to climb into the mid-70s by Saturday.
Right now, it's 61 degrees in Lithia Springs, 64 in Fayetteville, and 64 in Midtown Atlanta at 11:04. More news at 11:30. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Veronica Waters, 95.5 WSB.
No, I want this town to be near you. I stand
Good news, listeners. The long saga, the journey, the quest for us to book Dr. Sanjay Gupta on the Mark Arum Show has finally been achieved. Welcome to the show, Dr. Sanjay. So happy to finally have you on the Mark Arum Show.
Well, I'm delighted to be here. I did not know that this quest wasn't going on in the background, Mark. I would have delivered much earlier.
Decades in the making, my friend. Decades in the making. But thanks to you and our friends at the Book Festival for making this happen. You will be this Sunday, I believe, headlining the Marcus Book Festival here in Atlanta, promoting your book, It Doesn't Have to Hurt. Before we get into all the 20-year questions I've built up to ask you, tell us about the book and what we can expect at the Book Festival.
You know, I decided to do a deep dive on pain. I'm a doctor. I'm a neurosurgeon. I take care of a lot of patients with pain. And, you know, it's one of these things that I realized in some ways, you know, there's so many things in medicine that we treat objectively, take medications that lower cholesterol, you know, how to treat heart disease. Pain is such a deeply personal experience for anybody. You know, even within an individual, pain can vary day to day, hour to hour. What is it about pain that is so mysterious? What does that mean for physicians who are treating it? I just decided to do the deep dive. So for about 2.5 years, I traveled around to pain clinics, talked to countless patients who deal with chronic pain to try and better understand how to best describe it, but also to really understand strategies to treat it that maybe people haven't thought about. And we have a particular disdain for pain in the United States. I mean, as you may know, at one point, even though we're not even 5% of the world's population, we were consuming 80% of some of the world's opioids.
Wow. Which
is crazy. You know, we perform way more spinal operations, 1.2 million spinal operations in the United States To give context, in the UK, similar country, they perform 50,000 a year. They're about a quarter our population size, but still, even if you account for that, we operate more, we medicate more, we just don't like pain. And there's been all sorts of things that have resulted in our society because of that. Obviously, opioids is the thing that most people think of, but the healthcare costs, the overall satisfaction of life, all that's deeply affected by pain. And there hadn't been a lot written about it, Mark, so that's what sort of inspired me to write the book.
The opioid, I don't know if I'm using the correct terminology, the opioid crisis, as it's been referred to. When did this actually begin? When did it start? When did opioids become a problem when it comes to dealing with pain?
So they really started to really, I think, cross that threshold in the late 90s, early 2000s. That's when, people started to prescribe opioids at a far greater frequency than in the past. There was also a time when, there was this cultural shift where people said, hey, look, there is no reason for anybody to be in pain. So you'd show up at the ER with a viral illness or something, and in addition to taking your blood pressure and your heart rate and all these types of things, you'd get asked about pain. It became, as they said in that vernacular, the fifth vital sign. So it was like became this really important thing. And I think a lot of that was driven, frankly, by the opioid industry. Like, nobody needs to be in pain. Opioids can cure everything, even though there wasn't a lot of data around that. In fact, there was hardly any data looking at opioids being used long-term in patients. So I think it's been a quarter century sort of thing. I think about 10 years ago, there was a significant awareness of this, and you had all this regulation in terms of encouraging doctors to be more judicious about opioid prescribing. What is interesting culturally, and this may be too much, but, if you go back to the 70s, we weren't talking about prescription opioids. We were talking about things like heroin. Heroin is a type of opioid. So what happened was you saw these shifts happen. So when prescription opioids became more widely used, a lot of people were using them, you saw a decrease in heroin use. And then at a time when you saw increased regulation around prescription opioids, people started going back to heroin. So, I bring that up only to remind people these are all sort of variants of the same thing that we're talking about here. So I think we're in much better shape overall now, although, as you know, the big discussion is around fentanyl, which is another type of opioid. So there's just been these cultural shifts, and you can almost chart like what has happened in medicine in many ways through the eyes of the opioid epidemic.
What, if anything, did opioid prescriptions replace? You mentioned the 70s. I break my arm in 1979. My pediatrician doesn't prescribe opioids. What was prescribed for pain before the opioids?
Yeah, it's a great question. I mean, there was all sorts of different things, many of which are finding a new life again. So, for example, when I was working on the book and the documentary, I spent a lot of time in hospitals around the country that are basically what are known as opioid-sparing hospitals. They used to be called opioid-free hospitals, but to be fair, opioids can sometimes still have a role, so they just use them very sparingly. But the day that I was there, a guy came in with a broken hip, very painful thing. He had fallen, had a broken hip. Did not get opioids, got a nerve block instead at the time in the ER. They did the nerve block, took about 10 minutes, and completely relieved his pain. He was able to then go get an operation and never needed opioids at all for, what is arguably a very painful thing. Even things like ketamine, which, have a club drug sort of reputation. Ketamine was used as an anesthetic on the battlefields during conflicts, started getting used in animal laboratories, had this recreational sort of time when people were using it as a club drug. But now you're starting to see it used in emergency rooms again. Obviously, anti-inflammatories. There was all sorts of different options. Now, in these opioid-sparing ERs, you'll see many of those modalities sort of come back. They will use things. They're not necessarily new drugs or new techniques. They're things that sort of got minimized or marginalized because, hey, I'll just take the pill. And to be fair, opioids can be very effective at helping with pain. The problem was just how much more we were using. So it makes me, I think it's upsetting for a lot of people in the medical profession to see what happened, but it's also this recognition that in many places around the world, they deal with pain differently than we do. When I say in the United States we have a particular disdain for pain, it means we just don't tolerate pain. So it wasn't that there were, in other countries, people aren't breaking their arms and having painful things happen, and yet they're not using nearly close to what we were using in terms of opioids. So it's starting to change. I'll give you one quick stat, which I think is sort of interesting as a guy now in his mid-50s. A colonoscopy.
Oh, yes.
This is a procedure that hopefully, you get to make sure you don't have colon cancer.
I'm familiar, yes.
And if you've had one, you probably got propofol, which is a sedative. It's something that helped you forget and alleviated any kind of sensation you might have when getting your colonoscopy. In Japan, they don't use propofol. They don't use anything during colonoscopy. In Finland, about 6% of the population gets propofol. Now, to be fair, I got propofol when I had my colonoscopy, so I'm not giving a holier than thou sort of sense of this. But I just, it is interesting culturally how much pain is treated differently in different countries around the world as well. I think, it requires judgment in terms of how much, but clearly in the United States, we were using too much when it came to some of these pain drugs.
I'm now questioning my plans to retire with my wife in Japan after knowing that. We'll continue our conversation with Dr. Sanjay Gupta after a quick break and a mid-morning check of the roads. Let's go live to Atlanta's only 24-hour traffic center. Hello and good morning to Alex Williams.
Hey, good morning, Mark. Still watching this crash out leaving Stone Mountain. It's Highway 78 westbound. Just before approaching Mountain Industrial Boulevard, exit number 4, right lane is blocked there, causing delays back to Memorial Drive. Left lane construction, west side perimeter, 285 southbound, the outer loop below South Cobb Drive, exit 15. That's causing delays from South Atlanta Road. And downtown volume, 7585 northbound, Highway 166 Langford Parkway up past Peachtree, Pine Street. Southbound also a little sluggish through Midtown. Traffic brought to you by Anthem Blue Cross and Blue Shield. Learn more about their support of common threads and nutrition education at anthem.com/dream. Anthem Blue Cross and Blue Shield is the trade name of Blue Cross Blue Shield Healthcare Plan of Georgia, Inc. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
If you have the WSB radio app.
If you have the WSB
all
app.
the notifications you
If
need.
you have the WSB app.
All the local and breaking news alerts you need.
Breaking news in Cobb County.
All in one place.
We'll send out an alert on the WSB app.
The 95.5 WSB app.
Download it from your app store today.
At Castile Heating and Cooling, we know the holidays bring joy, laughter, and lots of people messing with the thermostat. Uncle Steve visiting from out west wants the heat cranked way up, and all the roughhousing little cousins want it Arctic. Castile will keep your HVAC system running strong all season long with expert installation and same-day emergency service. And right now, get up to $5,000 off a new HVAC system install, plus flexible financing available on installs and major repairs. Book CastileAir.com today.
Holidays coming up. Guys, you want to shock and amaze your friends, family, and loved ones that you're going to see this holiday and you haven't seen in a while? How about taking care of your bald spot, your receding hairline, or your thinning hair for my friends at Advanced Hair? Yes, you can get it done. It's Mark Aaron back here. Advanced Hair offers the proven, guaranteed solution that regrows your hair. Check it out. Where it's currently gone. Bald one day, your real hair starts growing the next day. Quick, simple, one-day treatment, and your real hair begins to grow the very next day, and it's guaranteed to grow from life. Shock and amaze your friends and family this holiday season, getting your hair back. If you want it back, now's the time. Advanced Hair is the place. Takes just one visit, but first you need a free consultation. Schedule now, 470-660-HAIR or advancedhair.com, and if you move forward, you get $250 off plus 250 free grafts. One-day treatment, life-changing results, your own natural hair guaranteed to grow. Advancedhair.com.
I'm here with Chris Hoffman, the founder of Hoffman Financial Group and host of Money Unleashed right here on 95.5 WSB. Well, Chris, as you know, time just keeps on ticking. We're putting another year under our belt, so it seems like a really good time to take stock of our financial lives and put together that plan that's built to last.
There are occasions throughout the year where I feel like it's critical for people to engage their financial lives and get the information that they deserve from a financial advisory team. And this is one of those times, to be quite frank. So we ask that you call us if you have a minimum of $500,000 in your full portfolio. But we're going to do away with that minimum so that those folks can have an equal opportunity to understand what's in their portfolio as well. Now, you have to have some money, right? I can't help you to build your wealth at work, right? But I sure can help, I believe, with your 401k, IRA management. There's probably 2 or 3 things that'll surprise you that you may want to take action on. So the next 10 people that call in, we'll work up either a portfolio x-ray, or if you feel like you need a full retirement plan, go to unleashyourmoney.com, click on Portfolio X-Ray or click on Full Retirement Plan. We think you'll be impressed enough, and we want you to become a client. There's no question about it. We believe that we are a very competent fiduciary advisory team, and we want to offer that to our listeners. Let Hoffman Financial Group actually show you how we perform, and I believe we perform at the pinnacle of this industry.
Call the Hoffman Financial Group at 404-737-3858, 404-737-3858, or online at unleashyourmoney.com. Investment advisory services offered through Brookstone Wealth Advisors, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through Hoffman Financial Group Incorporated, Georgia Insurance License number 163546.
Hey guys, are you striking out in the bedroom? Because pills like Viagra, Cialis, and Levitra just don't work anymore. Here's how Choice Men's Health is solving PE and ED issues. Meet Dr. Katz, the expert in men's health.
Hi, I'm Dr. Katz, Chief Medical Director at Choice Men's Health. Choice Men's Health offers safe, custom-blended medications designed to fit your needs. There is no pain or surgery. It doesn't matter how old you are or if you have diabetes, high blood pressure, or prostate issues. Not a problem. It's safe and affordable for everyone. You'll see results in 15 minutes guaranteed, or you don't pay anything. Solve the problem of ED and PE now.
For a limited time, your initial consultation and first treatment are free. Call now, 404-400-1170. That's 404-400-1170. To claim your initial consultation and first treatment for free. Call Choice Men's Health now. 404-400-1170.
1877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Call 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS to reach a friendly live agent. Donation's super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call us now.
1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Did you know you can donate real estate too?
Dr. Sanjay Gupta joining us here on the Mark Arum Show. The book is It Doesn't Have to Hurt, this Sunday, 7 p.m. at the MJCCA Book Festival. I'm assuming, folks, is there a meet and greet? What happens at the book festival?
Yeah, I think so. A meet and greet, and then I think, Holly Furfer, who was a former colleague of mine. Holly, she's going to be interviewing me on stage, and we're gonna just chit chat. I'm always anxious to see after you write a book what resonates with people, what people are sort of drawn to. So I'm looking forward to it. The thing about writing a book is it forces you in a good way to do the deep dive on the topic. So just talking to so many of these pain doctors and pain patients all over the country and many places around the world, I'm hoping to share some of what I've learned. One of the things I think is really important is that the body actually does a pretty good job of healing itself, Mark, in many ways. Sprain your ankle, for example, and the body will actually do a pretty good job of healing itself. We know that. What is interesting is that if you're trying to predict who is most likely to have persistent pain after an injury, like a sprained ankle or something like that, it is almost always people who have the lowest levels of inflammation at the time of injury, which is almost the opposite of what you'd expect, right? You're like, I got super inflamed and swollen. That doesn't bode well for my long-term sort of pain prognosis. And yet the opposite is true. But what we do when someone injures themselves, if you ever injured yourself, you probably sort of adopted some form of the RICE protocol: rest it, ice it, compress it, elevate it. All those things are designed to lower inflammation. But you know the problem. Low inflammation, more associated with chronic pain. By not letting the body do its job, by not mobilizing that joint, by not letting those healing molecules actually do their work at the site of injury, you set yourself up to more likely suffer chronic pain. I bring that up as an example of how we need to reframe pain differently versus how I think we've treated it for the last quarter century.
Interesting. Folks in Atlanta, we know about your your phenomenal medical resume here in Atlanta. And it seems like you probably are the most famous doctor in America right now, depending on who the Surgeon General is. But when did you jump to this famous doctor from just being, a great doctor here in Atlanta? What started your, I don't want to, be hyperbolic, but your rise to stardom? When did you become the face of medicine in the United States? When did that start?
You're nice to put it that way. I was always interested in I'll tell you, the background is I was interested in health policy. When I was a neurosurgical resident, I started writing about issues that I thought were important to the country overall for health policy, looking at pricing, looking at outcomes. We spend a lot of money on healthcare in the United States, $4.5 trillion a year now on healthcare, and we just didn't seem to have a lot to show for it. And so I became very interested in that. I worked at the White House for a while, domestic policy and speech writing around these topics. I'm at Emory. I'm a physician at Emory. I think in 2001, the summer of 2001, the folks at CNN asked me if I would consider talking about healthcare policy on television. It was the first year of a new president, George W. Bush at the time, and they wanted to talk about what the new healthcare plans were going to be. And then about 3.5 weeks after I started, 9/11 happened. And they basically said, look, we're not going to be doing health policy for a while, but what about what else is happening in the world? Does that interest you? The attacks in New York, the anthrax attacks, you remember in October of that year. And then obviously the conflicts in Afghanistan and Iraq. So I went from sort of being a policy wonk person to somebody who was very interested in understanding what lessons there were from the battlefields, from natural disasters, from outbreaks. And it's something that really resonated with me. I thought there were a lot of lessons to be learned. So, over the last 25 years, covered just about every conflict, natural disaster, and outbreak anywhere in the world. And then on top of that, I think things that are important to people in terms of how to better live their lives based on the best evidence, that we have at any given time. I wanted to talk about that as well. So it just sort of, spiraled. In the middle of that, I had 3 kids. We love Atlanta. We had moved to Atlanta, for the job at Emory, and this is home. We love it here.
That's well, thank goodness you didn't turn CNN down back in 2001, right? That has led to so much you being able to write these books and bring public awareness to so many things. All right, before I let you go, finally, an apology to you, Doctor, from my best friend, Sanjay Gehi, here in Atlanta. He wanted me to apologize to you. For the last 10 or 20 years, he has been making dinner reservations at restaurants in Atlanta as Sanjay G to get the best table. And they get very disappointed when my friend Sanjay shows up and it's not you, it's him. But he wanted to apologize for trading on your good name for so long.
Well, tell him absolutely zero worries, and tell him also that I'd be surprised that he'd actually get a good table using my name. That actually worked for him. Good for him.
Yeah, he's done it. I've been with him. The book is It Doesn't Have to Hurt, this Sunday at the MJCCA Book Festival. Dr. Gupta, thank you so much for your time. You are welcome back anytime, my friend.
I'd love it. Honored to be on the show. I'm sorry it took so long. Let's do it again soon.
Absolutely. Thanks so much, Doc.
Talk to you. Bye-bye.
Have you ever been out to dinner with Sanjay Longoria where he used the Sanjay G thing?
That's smart.
I've seen him do it. And his wife actually told me a story. They were at some gala or event or whatever, and there's name cards on the thing. And it was Sanjay G was on the name card. And the woman was so excited, like, oh, my God, I'm going to sit next to Sanjay Gupta. And then silky little Sanjay shows up. It reminds me of that commercial. I forgot what product it was, but it was a guy named Michael Jordan. And he kept making dinner reservations or car rental. And he shows up, and it's like this middle-aged white guy. And he's like, reservation for Michael Jordan? And they're like, Anyway, good to have Sanjay Gupta on the show. Finally, it took a long time, but we got him on. I'd love to have him back on again. Updating a couple of stories that we haven't discussed yet. Hearing underway in Virginia right now that could impact the cases against former FBI Director James Comey and New York AG Letitia James. Lawyers for both defendants are challenging President Trump's appointment of lead prosecutor, acting U.S. Attorney Lindsay Halligan. CBS News Justice correspondent Scott McFarland has more from Alexandria, Virginia.
It's possible these cases get dismissed over this issue. Now, whether the Department of Justice tries to find a way to refile them is a different question, but Immediately, it could mean the end of this particular criminal case against James Comey, Letitia James. Enormous development if so. It also could complicate or slow down these prosecutions.
Again, that hearing is underway right now. It's unique, I would say, that there's two separate litigants coming together for this, movement to get the cases released. But Scott McFarland will have updates throughout the day on 95.5 WSB. News, weather, and traffic in 3. When we come back, the government officially reopened. How's that impacting air travel and just everyday Americans going about their lives? Plus, we're going to head to D.C. and talk to Washington White House correspondent John Decker. Social media is up and active at Mark Arum and at WSB Radio.
Rates are continuing to get better, and lots of folks are taking advantage of them by calling Myland. This is Scott Slade. Access the equity in your home with a home equity line of credit or cash-out refinance. Then use the equity in your home to pay off high-interest debts, student loans, basement or kitchen remodels, or anything else you need. These guys and gals are the best I've seen, and that's why I've been recommending them for over a decade. Local experts you can trust. Why would you call anyone else? Every month, Myland closes a loan that other lenders just can't do. Also, Myland wanted me to let you know they're still growing, currently hiring for their incredible sales team. If you or someone you know might be interested in joining one of Atlanta's premier mortgage lenders, give them a call. 770-817-2000. That's 770-817-2000. Online, it's myland.com. Spell it M-I-L-E-N-D. NMLS and Georgia Residential Mortgage Licensee 148769. Located at 8995 Westside Parkway, Alpharetta, Georgia 30009. Myland is an equal housing lender.
The holidays are approaching, so let my friends at Publix help you save money by shopping on the buy one, get one deals each week. Hey, it's Mark Arum. Yeah, there are BOGOs galore at your neighborhood Publix supermarkets. I love going in there and just following the yellow brick road of BOGOs. Save when you shop with the latest buy one, get one free items, deals on your favorites, and make sure you check out the BOGO deals before you shop. You can find the weekly ad online at Publix.com or in the Publix app. Publix, where shopping is a pleasure.
You're building a deck or adding a room, that's wonderful. But if you skip hiring an architect trying to save money, well, the builder's going to need drawings anyway. They're going to hire an architect regardless and mark up their fees to you. That's why it's smarter to start your project at Sketchhouse. Hi, I'm Richard Taylor, architect at Sketchhouse. At Sketchhouse, we'll make sure your plans are code and zoning compliant, they'll be creative, and they will look great. You're going to save thousands of dollars with Sketchhouse Architects. We're going to make this easy for you. Go to sketchhouse.com. That's sketch, H-A-U-S, sketchhouse.com.
'Tis the season. Have you gotten your flu shot? At All Care, our experienced flu specialists are dedicated to providing comprehensive and personalized care, from vaccines to testing to treatment. And you can walk right in to any of All Care's 15 Atlanta locations and access our unique combination of primary and immediate care under a single roof. For flu season and beyond, say goodbye to waiting for the doctor and say hello to All Care, a proud member of the Piedmont Clinically Integrated Network.
Sell your home with Mark Spain Real Estate and get the strongest cash offer in the industry. You'll save time, make the most money, and eliminate all the hassle. Go to markspain.com to get a guaranteed offer on your home today. That's markspain.com and start packing.
Live from the Superior Plumbing Studios.
News,
weather,
traffic. 95.5 WSB.
Atlanta's News and Talk.
It's 11:30. I'm Veronica Waters. The news this half hour is brought to you by Main Street. WSB's top story: travelers continue to navigate lingering impacts to flights and other airports, issues experienced nationwide from the government shutdown. President Trump signed a government funding package at the White House late Wednesday, which formally ended the longest government shutdown in U.S. history. But this traveler at BWI says she planned ahead just in case she ran into any problems.
I think what has helped us a great deal is planning. The planning, making sure we got out earlier than usual to get for our flight.
Delta CEO Ed Bastian says he believes that flights will be back to normal this weekend. A hearing is underway in Virginia as lawyers for former FBI Director James Comey and New York Attorney General Letitia James challenged the lead prosecutor in both their cases. Attorneys contend acting U.S. Attorney Lindsay Halligan was unlawfully appointed.
It's possible these cases get dismissed over this issue. Now, whether the Department of Justice tries to find a way to refile them, it's a different question. But Immediately, it could mean the end of this particular criminal case against James Comey, Letitia James. Enormous development if so. It also could complicate or slow down these prosecutions.
Scott McFarlane reports Virginia judges have recused themselves, so a judge from the Carolinas is hearing the matter. The House votes next week on whether to compel the Justice Department to release the Jeffrey Epstein files.
House Democrats and 4 Republicans forced Speaker Mike Johnson's hand using an obscure tactic known as a discharge petition, which requires the signatures of a majority of members to circumvent House leadership and bring a bill to the floor. The key 218th signature came from new Arizona Democratic Congresswoman Adelita Grijalva. Her swearing in had been delayed with House members out of town during the shutdown.
I will sign the discharge petition right now to release the Epstein files.
Michael Wallace reports, though, the bill may not have an easy path in the Senate. The Trump administration is addressing concern about grocery prices.
The Treasury Secretary now promising action to bring down coffee and fruit prices, likely in the form of tariff relief.
You're going to see some substantial announcements over the next couple of days.
A new poll, though, finds that more than half of working Americans are worried about losing their jobs, according to correspondent Sophie Play. Gwinnett County's school board gets an update on their superintendent search.
11 months after voting to fire Superintendent Dr. Calvin Watts, board members receive an update from Alma Advisory Group, the firm hired to help them find the district's next leader. Alma CEO Monica Rosen says they held several meetings throughout the district to find out what the public wanted, and now
that our next steps are to build and approve the job posting, for Alma to begin actively recruiting candidates for the role, and for the board to interview and select its candidate,
which hopefully will be in April. Rosen says the community wants a leader who can unify the state's largest school district. Michelle Wright, 95.5 WSB.
Georgia Tech celebrates the honorary naming of the Jimmy and Rosalind Carter School of Public Policy today. Before becoming Georgia's 76th governor and later the 39th president of the United States, Carter attended Georgia Tech in 1942. It's 11:33. Time now for live team coverage of traffic and weather. Alex Williams is watching the lunchtime commute, I guess we could say, Alex, in the WSB 24-hour traffic center. It's lunchtime somewhere.
Yeah, and we got a little bit of a mess as you're trying to make your way down toward I-285 out of Norcross, Veronica. It's a crash in the center lane, 85 southbound before 285 exit 95. You're slow back to Indian Trail Road. Left lane construction setting up on the west side. Inner loop was on the outer loop. Now they're on the inner loop, 285 northbound. That left lane blocked at Bolton Road exit 13. And a few brake lights downtown, 7585 northbound University Avenue, getting north of I-20. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
This is WSB meteorologist Christina Upward. Sunny skies and warmer today. Highs in the upper 60s to low 70s. Lows tonight in the mid 40s. Tomorrow, sunshine, high 71. Mostly sunny on Saturday with highs in the mid 70s.
Right now, it's 64 degrees in Beaufort, 65 in Union City, and 66 in Midtown Atlanta at 11:34. More news at noon. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Veronica Waters, 95.5 WSB.
Coming Friday on Atlanta's Morning News, a beautiful weekend forecast. Coach Smarts on the Georgia-Texas game, and Clark Howard on how leaf blowers are actually bad for your health. I'm Chris Chandler. We start at 5 on WSB.
We have been for maximum transparency of the Epstein files from the very beginning. What I was opposed to is the reckless disregard that was used.
Speaker Mike Johnson discussing the Epstein emails, the Epstein files, and most importantly, the reopening of the government. We'll continue our team coverage next on the Mark Arum Show.
Normally, they put a roof over your head, but this is the time of year that Findlay Roofing also puts presents under trees. Merry Christmas! It's Dave Baker, host of the Home Fix-It Show. My friends at Findlay Roofing, the Roof guys, are proud to support Clark's Christmas Kids again this year. Findlay will donate $100 from every roof replacement between now and December 14th. Findlay has committed to donate at least $15,000 to Clark's Christmas Kids. Santa would be proud, and Rufus is proud too. And if it's time to replace your roof, please think of Findlay first. With over 65,000 roofs replaced locally, they've mastered the process with impeccable, high-quality work. 'Tis the season to give yourself the gift of a new roof while helping give a Merry Christmas to local foster children. Get started right now. Schedule your free roof analysis at FindlayRoofing.com.
Does this sound like you, where every step or reach is a reminder of what hurts, a reminder of what you're not able to do and how far you've drifted from the life you used to have when you didn't feel that pain? Good news for you, because relief is closer than you think, and it doesn't have to come from a scalpel. What if it could come from you? It's Mark Aaron from my pals at QC Kinetics, where they tap into your body's own regenerative power using natural healing factors that help restore and repair damaged tissue, reduce inflammation, and relieve pain at its source. No surgery, no pain pills, no long recovery. And this Veterans Day, QC Kinetics is giving back to their heroes. Veterans will get $500 off their treatment, and for every non-veteran who starts care, QC Kinetics will donate $500 to the Wounded Warrior Project. A great time to book your free consultation. So call QC Kinetics today. 770-285-8026. That's 770-285-8026. Locations in Decatur, Lawrenceville, Sandy Springs, Marietta, Stockbridge, and Douglasville.
The following is a paid commercial announcement.
Corporate megastores are spending millions lobbying D.C. politicians on one-sided policies that send small businesses tumbling. They want to enact harmful credit card mandates that take resources away from your local credit union and community bank, leaving Main Street businesses with less access to credit, making it harder for your family to pay for everyday goods like gas and groceries. Tell Congress to guard your card and oppose the Durbin-Marshall credit card mandates.
Paid for by Electronic Payments Coalition.
He packed in the animals 2 by 2.
Ox, a camel, and a kangaroo. 11:37 on this extremely busy News Day Thursday. Welcome back, friends. Mark Airman crew with you for another 23 minutes. Then we pass the baton over to Eric Erickson, noon to 3. 3 to 7, it's the Doctrinaires, Eric Von Hessler and the Von Hessler Doctrine. And today's Thursday, not Friday. Is Shelly on today? Do we have Bulldog stuff?
I think there's Bulldog stuff today.
All right. Yeah. Anyway, normally we'd give away some prizes. And Vinny's the first time in 43 days. Vinny's like, yeah, go ahead and give away some prizes. But we have nothing to give away today. But the prizes shall return tomorrow. Going to get the very latest on the opening of the government after that record-breaking shutdown. The latest on the Epstein emails. 20,000 pages of Jeffrey Epstein emails to and fro from a bunch of people. Dropped yesterday by the House committee. The House Democrats released that. We'll have the very latest on that throughout the day. But joining us on the show, White House correspondent John Decker. John, if I had the lyrics and or the music, I would start singing right now the Swedish national anthem, because tonight at the Swedish Embassy in D.C., you will be honored for your 30th year covering the White House all the way back to 1995. Congrats, my friend.
Well, thanks. Yeah, it's really a great honor. I'm humbled that this event is happening tonight. 3 decades covering the White House, 17 White House press secretaries I've worked with, every president since Bill Clinton in his first term. And tonight I get to celebrate this milestone, this rare milestone with friends, with family, with colleagues, with ambassadors, with my wife. I'm just so excited for this evening for sure.
That's remarkable. So you started covering the White House in 95. I started at WSB Radio in 97. And the change in the industry from where I sit is the biggest thing has been the technological improvements. My job is a lot easier now than it was in 97. What changes have you seen covering the White House in the last 30 years?
Well, changes for sure. You know, back in 1995, think about it. There wasn't social media. There wasn't X. There wasn't Instagram. There wasn't Facebook. There wasn't Politico. You know, there are so many new news organizations. There wasn't even Fox News in 1995. Think about that. So lots of changes in the media landscape for sure. And then the way in which various presidents and administrations get their message out to the public. Now, you don't have to, talk directly to the press corps. You don't have to, have a Oval Office address. You can just send out a social media post like President Trump does on Truth Social to talk directly to the American public. And so that's one of those huge changes that I've seen over the course of the past 30 years.
Yeah, and you mentioned the size of the press corps, right? There are so many more outlets now covering the White House than there were 30 years ago.
Oh, my gosh. And it's only increased so much just over the last decade. I think we've seen an incredibly large number of new outlets, both conservative and liberal outlets, that have come on the scene just over the last 10 years. And that's a good thing. I think more voices that are represented, more points of view, more perspectives. That's a good thing. You see it practically every day when there's a White House press briefing, how many journalists are packed into that room for each and every press briefing.
John Decker celebrating 30 years covering the White House, going to be honored at the Swedish Embassy tonight, joining us here on the Mark Arum Show. Do you remember the first question you ever asked a president while a member of the White House press corps? Was it Clinton?
Well, it would have been Bill Clinton. I don't remember that, but I can tell you one of the first memories I have is actually walking into the briefing room. My bureau chief brought me over there to introduce me to the White House press secretary, to show me where I'd be working. And as I walk into the briefing room, there before me are two of my journalistic heroes, Brit Hume from ABC News and Bill Plant from CBS News. And I went over and I said hello to them and I told them how much I admire their work. And they dropped what they were doing, Mark, and they took the time to just talk to me. They were so friendly. And that really had a huge impact on me. The fact that, these huge giants in journalism were taking their time to talk to me, this new correspondent, this young new correspondent, that when I see a new reporter or a new producer or a new cameraman at the White House, I'm very welcoming to them, and making them feel welcome at the White House.
Yeah, congrats on 30. Here's to 30 more. Enjoy your evening at the Swedish Embassy tonight in D.C., John.
Thanks so much, Mark. Really appreciate it. Thanks for having me on today, and we'll talk real soon.
Got it. 11:42 on the Mark. That's really cool. And I'm wondering why he's being honored at the Swedish Embassy. I'm fascinated with embassy life after watching The Diplomat, which, by the way, folks, goodness gracious, it might be one of my top 10 shows of all time. The Diplomat. So good. But 30 years. So the biggest changes from where I'm sitting as a White House correspondent since 1995 to now, and I mentioned this to John, is the number of outlets. If you go back to 1995, the Clinton administration, you had the networks, ABC, CBS, NBC. You had the Associated Press, United Press International, Reuters, a couple of foreign, outlets. The big newspapers, Washington Times, Washington Post, New York Times, etc., Wall Street Journal. Now there's so many media outlets, which is both a good and a bad thing. Like if their reporters are doing their job right, it's good to have as many microphones up there at the White House, on Capitol Hill. Jamie Dupree, obviously, been doing it for 40 years. But the landscape, everything's changed. This isn't new to you. Whatever your job is, it's changed in the last 30 years. Tremendously. Really good stuff. John Decker, we're kind of lucky to have him on the show as regularly as we have. He's followed every president since Bill Clinton. All right, speaking of the White House, let's go back live to the White House now. Not live. This was earlier this morning. Elena Treen covering the Epstein files and the Epstein emails that were released yesterday.
Yesterday was a dizzying day of political intrigue, and it really cast a dark cloud over Republican hopes of claiming victory over the government shutdown and passing that bill to reopen the government. Now, the president, of course, signed that bill last night, but it finished off a day that brought new urgency to this issue that he has tried repeatedly, as well as has his team, to try and shrug off, but he just can't shake it. It's an issue that keeps coming back and bringing new information every time it does. And of course, there was those new emails from Jeffrey Epstein's private estate over the last 15 years that mentioned the president by name. And ever since then, ever since those were released, the White House has really been in damage control mode. And my colleagues and I broke yesterday that part of that was to bring Congresswoman Lauren Boebert, one of the people who ultimately did join that petition, bringing her to the White House, and not just coming to the White House, but bringing her to the Situation Room, the room where presidents go over war plans, to try and urge her not to sign her name. Now, the White House has argued that that was a sign of transparency. Listen to how Caroline Leavitt, the White House press secretary, put it.
Doesn't that show the level of transparency when we are willing to sit down with members of Congress and address their concerns? That's a defining factor of transparency, having discussions with members of Congress about various issues. And I'm not going to detail conversations that took place in the Situation Room, in the press briefing room.
Now, look, despite that meeting and also the president's efforts to try and get the Republican Congresswoman Nancy Mace on the phone as well, it was an unsuccessful effort. Both of them, including and then in addition to Marjorie Taylor Greene and Thomas Massie, all ultimately signed it. Now this signature has 218 votes, and the House Speaker, Mike Johnson, said that they will get a vote on that next week. And to be clear, I want to be clear in all of this, that these new emails do not appear to pose any new legal implications for the president. The White House and the president have repeatedly denied any wrongdoing, and the president has not been charged with any crimes as it relates to Epstein. But all of this just continues to bring new urgency to that question of why isn't the president releasing these, particularly after he and his supporters for years had argued that the files must be made public. And really, why isn't he willing to release these and get justice for these victims who have been trafficked and abused by Epstein? And so the question continues is going to be, how does this White House continue to deal with this, particularly as we know that this vote is going to happen next week to try and force the Justice Department to release the materials they have. And one of the questions I know that has really been something that I think this White House is struggling with, Sarah, is that, you know, most seriously, it raises the question of, did the president know more than what he has said publicly? All of that they're dealing with today.
Lena Trine at the White House this morning. Obviously, big stories. And I'm going to go out on a limb and say Eric Harkin is going to talk about not only the government reopening, but also the Epstein files. Could we see them released? And that Epstein email dump. Again, a lot of names you wouldn't expect shooting emails back and forth with Jeffrey Epstein in 2017 through 2019. Pretty crazy stuff. But again, let me save the tweets and the emails. President Trump not implicated in anything nefarious or illegal in any of these emails, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. 11:47 on the Mark Arum Show with a full belly, checking the ride around town. Alex Williams.
Yeah, and a full house on 85 southbound out of Norcross heading down to DeKalb County, Mark. This is on I-85 southbound. Travel advisory, crash now blocking 3 right lanes before you get down to 285 exit 95. Jammed up back to Beaver Ruin Road. Use Buford Highway as an alternate. Left lane construction set up. 285 northbound. The inner loop Bolton Road exit 13 on the west side. Starting to call some brake lights back as you leave Hollowell Parkway. And if you're traveling I-75 southbound in Cobb County, that's also a little sluggish out of Marietta, South Marietta Parkway to 285. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
WSB is your home of the dog.
Stockton finds Noah Thomas caught at the 50.
The Eyes of Texas will be on Georgia Saturday night.
Breaks the tackle 35, angling this way between the hash marks.
Pre-game for the top 10 SEC Showdown begins at 3:30.
Weaves back 10, 5, touchdown!
Kickoff at 7:30. Only on your home of the dogs, 95.5 WSB.
Noah Thomas all the way.
Brought to you in part by Hoffman Financial Group, official partner of the Georgia Bulldogs.
Is your heating and cooling system aging? Let Reliable protect your AC from breakdowns and your budget from costly, unexpected repairs. Just $19.99 a month. Hey, it's Mark Arum. No deductibles, no hidden costs, no claims paperwork, and no service fees. Just amazing coverage. Visit reliableair.com/protectmyHVAC or give them a call. 770-594-9969. That's 770-594-9969.
For heaven's sakes, y'all, don't cook this Thanksgiving. This is Tom Murphy, and for over 40 years, Murphy's Restaurant in the Virginia Highlands has offered exquisite, complete takeaway meals, including roast turkey breasts and all the fixings, including your choice of a whole pie. You can even add wine to the order. Just pick up, heat, and eat. Let our talented chefs handle everything. Just go to murphysatlanta.com. That's murphysatlanta.com. Order today, murphysatlanta.com.
You've thought about assisted living for your parents, but maybe the right answer is renovating your home and having mom or dad move in. I'm Richard, Chief Architect at Sketch House, where we create custom architectural drawings for homeowners looking to remodel. Why get drawings first? You'll know what's possible. You'll be able to get pricing and compare builders apples to apples, and builders love drawings. You'll get bumped to the top of their list with drawings in hand. Let Sketch House help you make a decision about your aging parents at a fixed price. Visit sketchhouse.com. That's sketch, HAUS.com.
Some friends one time sent my wife and me Omaha steaks for Christmas, and they sent it to our old house. We had moved out of it and not yet sold it. Went to the house. I could smell the steak before I saw it. Didn't know who sent it to me. Called Omaha Steaks. Not only did they send me a brand new package to my house, they told me who had sent it to me so I could send a thank you note. It was incredible customer service. And I've been sending gifts from Omaha Steaks because how great their customer service is ever since. You can get the Sizzle All the Way sale right now, 50% off site-wide at omahasteaks.com, and you get an extra $35 off with promo code ERICK, E-R-I-C-K, at checkout. You can get incredible options. My wife began her love affair of caramel apple tartlets with that package. Omaha Steaks sent to us. You can too. Get the fillets, get the New York strips. omahasteaks.com, 50% off right now. The Sizzle All the Way sale, $35 off extra with promo code ERICK at checkout. Minimum order required. omahasteaks.com.
A noisy garage door is a cry for help. Hi, I'm Tommy Mello, owner at A1 Garage Door Service. Most repairs are simple, but if left untreated, they can turn into costly repairs. Your garage door works hard every day, and a little maintenance goes a long way. We fix garage doors fast with quality parts designed to last a lifetime. From repairs to upgrades, it's A1 from day one. Call A1 Garage Door Service, and you'll be smiling today.
A1Garage.com. A1 from day one. 1877 Cars for Kids. K-A-R-S Cars for Kids. 1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Call 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS to reach a friendly live agent. Donation's super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call us now, 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS.
Donate your car today.
Did you know you can donate real estate too?
Hi, I'm John Ray, your friend and jeweler at Shane Company. When you buy an engagement ring or fine jewelry gift from Shane Company, you get more than what you paid for. Our jewelry comes with our all-inclusive free lifetime warranty. It covers everything. There's no fine print. You'll get unlimited cleanings, resizings, and repairs. Plus, it even protects your engagement ring's center stone. We stand behind the quality of our jewelry, and that's our gift to you this holiday, peace of mind. Because a friend knows the best things in life are free. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
Been wanting a new deck for your home, something that's built just the way you want it, but you're scared to pull the trigger? I can help you with that. Dave Baker here for Ben Hill Renovations. Right now, Ben Hill Renovations are offering special financing. No interest if you pay in full within the 18 months promo period. You're welcome. Visit bhrenovations.com today and schedule a free design consultation at your home. Ben Hill Renovations, creating raving fans since 1964.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ziprecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate through the site within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. Just go to this exclusive web address, ziprecruiter.com/free. That's ziprecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
From the garish light of day.
11:54 on the Mark Arum Show. That, for the uncouth that don't know, that's the Phantom of the Opera. I didn't know. I'm uncouth as well. Gerard Butler, who performed this in 2007. He's 56 years old today. I know Gerard Butler, but I don't know what I know him from. It's certainly not the Phantom of the Opera. Good news, the Mark Arum Show Christmas cards have been ordered. They should be arriving next week, I would imagine, as we get closer to the Christmas season. Not great news, though, when it comes to decorating your house and your tree this Christmas season. Tariff's going to take a bite out of our budget.
Well, if you like the fake plastic tree, the cost is going to go up about 10 to 20%, depending on what kind of tree you get, how big it is, where you're ordering it from. And that's because of all of the tariffs that are coming from China. The majority of Christmas trees are made in China.
The fake ones, yeah.
Fake plastic trees,
Yeah.
yes. And if they were to, the Balsam Hill makes like some of the nicest fake Christmas trees out there. They said if they were to make them here in the United States, a tree that would normally cost $800, which is already a lot.
Oof,
Yeah.
really?
Well, that's what it would normally cost.
For a fake tree?
For a fake tree.
Wow.
If they made it here in the United States, it would be $3,000 because it's very skilled to put those trees together, to have all the lights in them. But because of all those tariffs in China, it's going to jump up about 63% more than you paid for your fake plastic tree last year.
I don't know if you've ever been to Longoria's house on Christmas, but he has the same tree that Ray Liotta had in Goodfellas, that all white, gaudy, fake plastic tree.
It's in my Lego room.
All right, so this is the year. Go shop and get a real tree at one of the local Christmas tree farms here in North Georgia. Target starting to cut prices. Not starting to. They're slashing prices on a bunch of products.
Target said that they're going to lower the prices of about 3,000 items because they understand that people are really feeling the budget crunch, especially
Nice.
during the government shutdown, is when they really saw less traffic in the stores. Now, it doesn't give specific things, but they're saying everyday essentials, basic foods, beverages, you're going to start seeing a lot of things discounted.
Topps Chrome update.
Possibly.
Baseball cards.
Yeah,
being...
that's an essential, right?
I went
Yeah.
to Target the other day. I had to get one thing. I was like, I need more Advil.
You can't get one thing at Target.
You are not lying, ma'am. So first of all, I'm like, all right, I'm running out of Advil liquid gels, the official pain relief of Mark Arum, not associated with WSB Radio. I get the big jug. And I text Maya, I'm like, hey, I'm going to Target. Do you need anything? She says, yes, toilet paper. And she's smart. She screenshot exactly what she wants. We use separate TPs in our house, separate brands and styles and whatever. And then I checked out. It was $310. $310. My initial thing was, I'll just stop by Target and get Advil. $310 at Target.
Wow.
Yeah, so we might have to cut back on the star of the show funds this year.
Longoria's Fact of the Day.
All right, today is National Indian Pudding Day, and before 1900, most American cookbooks included a recipe for Indian pudding, but by the 20th century, commercial puddings with the industrially perfect creamy consistency replaced the popularity of Indian pudding. The long cooking time required for Indian pudding did not appeal to the 20th century home cookbooks.
Deborah and I are both asking ourselves, what the hell is Indian pudding? Like Sanjay Indian or Native American?
I think Native American.
But what is it, though?
Yeah, I've never heard of it.
It's pudding that was made when at the
But
beginning.
like Pink Floyd pudding or what?
No, like actual pudding.
You know, they make it, Chuck.
But it was made out of cornmeal.
You don't have to make pudding anymore. They
Right.
actually make
That's
it
why the
for you.
20th century took it over.
All right, I'm going to do a Google image search on what the heck Indian pudding,
pudding.
is. It's pudding, he says. Got very defensive there. Stars of the show. Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it.
And now, are you guys ready for the Mark Arum Star of the Show?
Emily Brooks joined us live from News Nation. Isabella Rosales from CNN joined us live from the world's busiest. Peter Haralambous from ABC. Author Greg Cope White, he wrote The Pink Marine, which they made in the Netflix hit show Boots. I recommend you watch the show. It's really, really good. How about Dr. Sanjay Gupta joining us on the show? White House correspondent John Decker. You had us until the Indian pudding, Longoria. You had us there, but I am going to give myself star of the show. I fed you guys again. Social media is up and active at Mark Arum, M-A-R-K.